Yeah, that's why it's important to have leadership like both of these schools. You talk about Joe Taylor's leadership at Hampton University. He has the Pirates exactly where they want to be. #1 in all powers, climbing up the top 20 rankings in 1AA. Their focus is AA National Championship. And then you look at the Morgan State program with Coach Donald Hill-Ely. He's managed to turn this program around quicker than anybody anticipated. Before he got there, they lost to 23 straight seasons. Past 2 seasons, he's been at the helm, 2 winning seasons. So I tend to believe him when he says the bear has arisen in the cave, and they don't plan on hibernating anytime.
These coaching staff each other very, very well, and the beating between these two teams. Number 50 is anything like 49. Oh yeah, we guarantee a pretty good football game. With that, for the national anthem, and with that, we go to bad boy recording artist Johnny Gill.
Oh, say, can you see by the concert what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallant, and the rockets regular, bombs bursting in air, gave proof night that our flag was still here. Oh, say does that star-spangled that way.
Is that the way to get started right, or what? Bad boy recording, Johnny Gill getting us all set for a little bit of football. And it's coming your way right here on ET, the opening kickoff. Morgan State Hampton right after this. Hey, Joe. Joe's in the house. New Jersey, Rutherford, that is George Johnson along with Jay Walker. We have a third member of our team, that of course Cleasy, or Joe Claire, who's right now. Joe, what's up? George, thank you. I'm out here getting the crop with the people. You know how I love to do. Now, this Urban League Classic, we got the good the University who here for Hampton. Yeah. Anyway, I went to Morgan State University. Who here for Morgan? Yeah. Hey, it's a vibe out here with babies. We got grandmothers, we got folks, we got fish and chicken. It's off the chain. So when y'all get there, I'm gonna be inside for the opening kickoff. Hey, Jersey, can y'all make some noise? You know, I'm wondering if Joe's really going to get in, because you know he's partying with his people at Morgan State. So it's all about, you know, forget the party, right? And 2 hours before kickoff, though it took me 2 hours to get into the stadium. They got a
huge crowd. Hampton won the toss, elected to receive. Jerome Mathis is the deep man, and you can see they do not want to get it to Jerome Mathis, who averages 46 yards every returns at kickoff. In fact, last year went for 99 yards. So this time they decided we're going to squib it to him. Coach told us, Coach Hill said, let's get it to him. Right now, time for our starting. Brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Accelerate your life. Princeton Shepherd is your starter. And what you're not going to see where those numbers were printed is mobile that he is. Absolutely. Meanwhile, your offensive line, Bradley, Cousins, Wiggins, you'll see him at tackle as well. Anderson and Roberson rounding out the 5. But watch for Aaron Wiggins, a former Washington who has just been a great little offensive lineman. His offensive line, though, for Hampton. Clement, longtime center in first 10. Shepherd. Himself, touchdown Hampton. Wow. Javar was there defensively, or was he, Jay? Did the defense get off the bus? I mean, first play, you give up bomb, you have to know that they want to get Mathis involved in the game or sooner than later. And what a great play. We know Alonzo Coleman's the all-time running back for Hampton University. Do a fake to him and go top the long ball with your American. Great play call. 65-yard touchdown for Jerome Mathis. And on to attempt this point. Andrew Patarino. The kick is up and the kick is good. And you hope that back behind the Pirates. We've seen that happen, yes. We saw that last week down in Jackson, Mississippi. You see Coach Hill there kind of wondering what went on. Some explanation, and that's a great feeling right there as a quarterback. Take a look. What you're going to see is, look at the two deep zone there, and you're going to see Jerome Mathis just fly by him. He bites in, he touches right away with world-class speed there, which Jerome Mathis has. That safety has to know. Stay back, stay back. Look, he's got 5-yard separation. He's all getting it. Oh, yeah. Once you go a touchdown, and a big venue like that, everybody quiet down, y'all. I got to tell you, into this game, State really has struggled giving up the big play. In fact, giving up big yardage. Teams are averaging 432 yards total against them, 260 in the air, and a lot of that has to do with a very young secondary. Very young secondary. They've got 3 sophomores, they got 3 freshmen in there, and a senior struggling. And what they try to do is start the senior, Derek Gross, there at the free safety spot. The newcomer to the starting lineup and got peeking in the backfield. Didn't pay enough respect to Jerome Mathis. You just saw Roderick Wolf, number 14 for Morgan State, back deep with the spread, hoping that he can do something to get the Bears back in this one. It did not take long. A 65-yard touchdown to Jerome Mathis, and I believe, but here comes Wolf. Back the other way, going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. That's where the Bears take the 1st and 10. Now time for the U.S. Navy starting lineups for Morgan State. Bradshaw Littlejohn, 6'3", 258 pounds. He is a monster. He's a fullback underneath the center. Almost taken by the offensive line now. And here's the line again. We showed it to you, Hampton, but Wiggins is the guy you should watch out for, offensive line for Morgan State. Jackson, Dickens, Wolf, and Manisher, specialty players. Chris Cash, also a very solid tight end. They thought was really going to make an impression before he left Morgan State. He has done all the things for the team. He's at Glendale, Maryland. First down, they hand it off to the deep back, and that's Jason Jackson, junior from Oxon Hill. Meanwhile, your defense, Abrams, Kidd, Sylvester, and Micah Littlejohn, who started a lot last for this team. Durant, leading tackler on the club, mans the middle linebacker spot, but Warriors are solid. Calvin Bannister was a freshman last year. As a sophomore, has been solid already, has 2 interceptions. Knox is the leader back there, and Darius Swinton. So here's Bradshaw Littlejohn. Struggled last week against San Jose State, where he completed just 5 of 17 passes, Jay. Over the middle, and this one intercepted. Look out. And the middle linebacker, Justin Durant, who we talked about, the leading tackler, comes up with the interception. Justin Durant's a great linebacker there. What he does is a good job of just reading the quarterback's eyes, and Little John just right to where he was getting ready to throw the football. Takes over 1st and 10. We take a commercial break. We give the Pirates document the goal again. East Rutherford, New Jersey.
the Meadowlands, where Donald Hill's club already down 7-0, and his quarterback Bradshaw Littlejohn has already thrown an interception in the game on their second possession. So on 1st and 10, the Pirates keep the ball on the ground and pick up about 4 yards for Alonzo Coleman. Let's take a look now at our starting lineups, brought to you by the U.S. Navy. For the Hampton Pirates, offensive line, Clement and Golightly, two of the better offensive linemen in all the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. People saying both these guys should be playing on Sunday next year. Alonzo Coleman, just a sophomore and already breaking records at this school. Curtis Lewis, a good fullback with good hands. Faulkner and Mathis already with the touchdown catch. You saw it right here. Second down now and 6. Shepard back looking for his wideout Marquay McDaniel, the junior from Virginia Beach. Now look at Morgan State's defense. Already got their hands full in this one. Williams, Johnson, Whaley, and Floyd, the front men. Johnson wants us to call him Tank, so we will, okay? They call these guys the Horsemen. Watts, Brown, and Maynard, very tough linebackers for Morgan State. Hayes, Golston, Choo Davis is the leader in that secondary, and Gross also a cutter at safety. So here's Shepard on 3rd down, over the middle, pass in the air, and it was intended for Mathis. Good defensive play for Morgan State.
Yeah, Princess got lucky on that pass. So anytime you've got tight man-to-man coverage like that with the curl route, you've got to drill that ball in there. You can't throw a little soft loud pass that he did. The defensive back had plenty of time to come from behind Mathis, get a hand on it, and tip it into the air. He's got to stick that ball in there with some more velocity. And you look at the Black College version of Joe Powell, Joe Taylor there, the mecca of all the MEAC coaches right there, and doing a great job with this program.
And you can see now that Joe Taylor wants a timeout on 4th down. Time now for today's coaches quotes, brought to you by the First Ever Pontiac G6. Go to www.firsteverg6.com. This one is about the respect that each coach has for each other.
We'll hug before the ball game. We'll hug afterwards, because I'm so proud that I can say that I've been a part of his development. What he's doing, I'm not surprised at. Morgan is a legitimate contender.
He was a father to a lot of us that didn't have him, and love him dearly. You know, he's a guy that has allowed me and taught me how to not only take this coaching and make it a profession and feed your family, but make a difference in other people's lives.
Donald Hill, head coach of Morgan State, talking about that man right there, Joe Taylor. In fact, Hill played for Taylor. He was his quarterback at Virginia Union and then his assistant down at Hampton. Donald Hill brings a lot of experience. He coached in the Canadian Football League. He's been around football for a long time, and it really has instilled a new attitude in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, just by being around him, you know where his priorities are. You heard in that clip there, he talked about Coach Taylor being a father figure. Well, he sees it himself now as a father figure to the guys on his team. He'll tell you, off the drop of a hat, hey, I've got 52 young men on this team that don't have a father. Right. I'm their father. I've got 3 kids that are homeless. So he said, because of the job that Coach Taylor did instilling this father-like qualities that I have to take that and be a father to these guys on my team. So really, Joe Taylor's responsible for being a father to almost 160 kids when you combine both programs.
Call it a grandfather. 7th winningest active coach in 1AA is Joe Taylor, with 163 wins, 68 losses, and 4 ties. So Joe Taylor among the best as he is coaching in his 22nd year, 13th at Hampton. So 4th down now for Hampton. Hampton rarely goes for 4th down. They've done it just twice this year and converted once. But teams have been successful against Morgan State on 4th down. And the Pirates are successful again as they get into Mathis for the 1st down. Opponents now good on 4 of 5 fourth down opportunities against Morgan State's defense.
Yeah, I guess the teams are not scared of the Morgan State Bears defense in fourth down situations. Take a look what you get here. You get Jerome Mathis on the outside, one-on-one. We mentioned the young cornerback that Morgan State has. Hey, fourth down, good job by the quarterback. Give the ball to the playmaker. Look at the route here. The speed. He's selling the deep route here. Uh-oh, I changed my mind. I'm coming back out. That's called quality route running. When you're that fast, sell the deep ball, then come back and catch a short.
13-yard pickup. Jason Little, the freshman, number 18, was there defensively as they give the ball to Coleman. Coleman, the sophomore from South Boston, Virginia, and quite frankly, the best back in the MEAC, at least in these early stages, as he leads the conference in rushing, averaging 141 yards per game.
Yeah, we saw Anthony last week, and I think we have an opportunity to see the best 2 running backs in all of black college football, probably in the 1AA level. We're back-to-back weeks, and we're going to see Mr. Anthony again next week. But I said this a long time ago. Coleman's been the best running back I've seen ever on the black college level, as long as I've been around the game, and I've got close to 14 years experience with it now.
Second down and goal. In motion is McDaniel. Shepard, plenty of time. He's had time all game long. And he delivers this one to Derek Faulkner, and Faulkner gets inside the 5. His offensive line is doing a tremendous job, and when you think about it, this is a line that has produced the offensive lineman of the week in the MEAC the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They know how to get time. And look at the clock here. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, third read, fourth read. He's going to a fourth read. So offensive line, they take a lot of credit when they give a QB that much time. You take a look here. I like the ball call. Let's look at this wall. Do they get past the wall? Not even close. Nobody gets within 3 or 4 yards. He could have held on that ball all day. Great job by Jelani Clement and gang up front.
Shepard 3 for 5 for 85 yards and a touchdown as he gives it to his tailback again. Coleman and linebackers being very aggressive for Morgan State, going to have to be aggressive if they want to keep this running game down for Hampton.
Yeah, that's what Coach Hill Ely said. He said, hey, Mathis and those guys can beat me. Alonzo Coleman will not beat me. I'll stack the box to make sure he doesn't beat me because he thinks that he can play with some of the wide receivers, but you don't want to play around too much when it comes to Alonzo Coleman.
So Andrew Pellerini is going to attempt a 22-yard field goal. It's 5 of 6 thus far this season, make it 6 of 7. His longest of 41 yards, that one though just 22, but it gives his Pirates a 9-0 lead over Morgan State. Still got a lot of football left, 10-20 in the first quarter.
Add hundreds of dollars a year to your insurance bills. It's why all
things out on how to solve the problem that the Morgan State Bears front 7 are causing, but in that secondary, not much problems as they've already built themselves a 9-0 lead here in the first half. Coming right back, though, Morgan State. And on the return is Mark McKenzie. And McKenzie takes it out close to the 30-yard line. Look at the... Sorry, Jay.
So you talk about the protection they had all day there. The defense has to be happy that they made Hampton settle for a field goal. That's key. They had the ball in great field position and only walked away with 3 points. So defensively, Morgan State gave up the big one, but they rebounded nicely on the short fields there.
Once again, our New York Urban League Classic, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, as they bring you black college football each and every week here on BET. Morgan State already in a hole. First play, they hand it off to the deep back Jason Jackson, coming off a 139-yard performance last week against San Jose State.
So anytime you see defensive linemen making tackles on running backs in the backfield, defensive coordinators love that. That means that the offense is not even getting past the line of scrimmage. If Morgan doesn't figure out a way to control this line of scrimmage against Hampton, they're going to be in for a long ball game.
Again, we talked about Morgan and how they're averaging over 40 points per game, but they're also giving up about 46 points a game. Got to get to the point where they're going to have to make some stops as this season wears on, especially when they get in the meat of that MEAC schedule. But it starts off against Hampton. a team ranked in the top 20 in Division I AA, and Bradshaw Littlejohn holds on to the football.
And although Morgan's given up a lot of points, you know, talking to Coach Hill, and that's Bradshaw being Bradshaw there. He likes to celebrate, and he likes to get physical. But one thing he talked about, all these games, we've been in every one of them. So we played San Jose State Division I. You're supposed to lose, but he called it a win-win because they got a nice check and they competed. But the offense has not helped out the defense. First game of the year against Bowie State, we saw him, hey, gave Bowie a touchdown right away on the first series. We just saw the offense turn over the ball early. So if the offense can stop putting points on the board for the opposing team, the defense will catch on.
Morgan State coming in with a record of 1-2. Third down. Morgan State has accumulated just 4 total yards thus far in this game, and it'll remain at 4 on that incomplete pass.
Trying to get the ball to Chris Cass, his tight end, and wide open route. I mean, Hampton's doing very vanilla coverage right now, but it just seems like the big show. Bradshaw has to settle down a little bit, and they've got to get this passing game in sync.
So 4th down, forcing in the punt. Earl Johnson going to come back and punt it. Standing at about his own 37-yard line is Marquay McDaniel. Now, if they're scared to kick off to Jerome Mathis, they should also think twice about punting the football to Marquay McDaniel, averaging 20 yards every time he returns it. This is a good throw. Gets past him. He's going to field it at about the 16-yard line. And good coverage by the Bears on that play.
And that's one of the marks of a great team. I mean, not only do you worry about them on kickoff, you worry about punting the ball to them, you worry about covering them, you just worry about them so many facets of the game they can beat you.
So the Pirates on top early in this one, 9-0. We're coming back. Welcome back. New York Urban League Classic here on BET. We're Hampton already on top 9-0. No, it's still early, but we got to let you know, coming up at the half on the Southwest Airlines halftime report, we've got the Battle of the Bands, first half stats and highlights, and a performance from New Edition. So you will want to be with us for that. Very special. Princeton Shepard, first play, and he's going deep, and he had a receiver. And Derek Faulkner unable to pull it in.
I mean, I've never seen the Hampton Pirates come out and attack a defense as hard as they're attacking this defense today. That's what happens when you get two teams that know each other. You'll see the Faulkner trying to come down with the ball going against the young secondary of Morgan State, and that's Javar Golson, who's in there getting his first start of the year. And what they're doing is coming out and attacking. When you got two coaches that know each other so well, one of them's going to break tendency and attack the other one where they don't want to be attacked.
And from the looks of things, it's the master who is breaking the tendencies, showing the young boy a few tricks that he had up his sleeve, showing the Here's Shepard on 2nd down, gonna roll left, and what a pass! I mean, to roll left and throw the football, that's big time, complete to Faulkner.
That's a good job of seeing the field there. He squared his shoulders up nicely and delivered a strike to Faulkner. I don't think Shepard attempted a pass less than 10 yards except for when they were down in the goal line. That's what I mean. He's going out throwing with bad intention. Take a look at the fake. Once he catches that guy there, he's beat, gets outside and makes his read. You see Faulkner in the back corner of your screen there and just drops the ball in there right down the chimney chute. Great pass over the quarterback, rolling to his left, throwing the ball that accurate.
Faulkner came in with 7 receptions to his credit, 2 already in this game. As the Pirates have it 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Shepard downfield again, got a receiver. Touchdown, Hampton. How easy is that?
The Pirates are in attack mode, and when the #1 team in the country is attacking you, you better just hold on for the ride because the stars are going to come out and shine.
Derek Faulkner with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. The sophomore from Moorestown, New Jersey, getting it done in front of the hometown folks.
That's what you do when you come home to play. Morgan is really struggling because they're trying to play zone, and they can't even play zone coverage to keep them from getting beat on the deep ball.
41-yard touchdown play.
Faulkner's one of those guys where as a quarterback, you just want to throw the ball up. As you can tell, they're trying to remedy themselves from the mixed PAT earlier. They decided to go for 2.
Now a timeout. Being charged to Morgan State. And you get the numbers of Princeton Shepard, a junior.
Look at the pass on the touchdown play, Jay.
You'll see this. I mean, throwing to Faulkner's easy because he's 6'5", 218, but you get it out there and let him have some room to run up underneath it. You get the best of both worlds. You see him here, it's just an old-fashioned go route, get inside of the defensive back and beat him upfield. Ball thrown perfectly in the air. That's one of those left shirt pocket balls there. You tell the wide receiver, you run down the field, and after you clear 40 yards, look in your left shirt pocket, find the football through a perfect pass.
41-yard touchdown play, and the man defensively there was Herman Hayes, another one of those freshmen from Baltimore. And look at the numbers thus far in this football game. Just 4 total yards for Morgan State.
Yeah, the Keys, they've had basically 4 plays really too, so the defense has been on the field for a while, so all the momentum they came out with is now gone, and it looks like Coach Taylor decided to change his mind and go for 1.
So Patarini, who missed the first opportunity at an extra point.
Watch the snapper, guys. Watch the snapper.
They try to make this one good. And it is. So on the season now, he's 12 of 14 on PATs. One of those kickers in the conference.
And he missed that PAT. At the rate they're going right now, you got to have something for the coach to get upset for during the halftime show. And Coach Hill, he came in here with a structured game plan, very confident. But right now, he's seeing what it's like. You can't always motivate your team to play the way you want them to play when they get caught up in all these different things that happen in college football.
Meanwhile, Joe Taylor's club cruising. Opened up the season with a win over Jackson State and then knocked off Howard 47-14 last week, as we said earlier, beating Western Illinois 40-20. Western Illinois was ranked 15th at the time. This team really on a roll right now.
And they're feeling it. They're feeling it. They went out, got that #1 ranking, and they're playing for the day. They're trying to get better over and over. And we talked about the keys for them winning this game today. For Hampton, it was eliminate hope early and bring out the star power. So they've basically tried to eliminate Morgan State's hope of an upset. And the stars in Coleman and Mathis so far, and with Coleman get involved in the act later, is going to be the key for them winning this football.
One would assume that Coleman's going to get a lot of carries as the game wears on, especially if they get a big lead. But here's Morgan State trying to retaliate some way. Nick's back there on the return. And finally, the man to pick it up is Mark McKenzie. And he's upended deep in his own territory. The man coming up to make the tackle, the Scorpion Brown. And now let's go back out of the field with my man Joe Clare standing by. Cleasy, what's up?
Well, you know I'm down here hurting a little bit because I'm a Morgan State Bear. But Hampton apparently is trying to make it no question about how this game is going to end. Because of last year's game, we had a controversial depending on who you ask, call, but there was a catch made, and the catch would have sealed the game, but they ruled the catch out of bounds. And I think that this time Hampton is like, okay, there ain't going to be no questions. We going to beat them fair and square. But I'm not liking the way it's going. We back up to y'all up top, man. I'm not happy about this.
Not too happy, are you?
No, not at all.
Somebody get Joe Clare's tissue,
still a lot
please.
of football left.
Well, I hope it's a whole lot of football with us on the winning side.
Flag thrown as Morgan State takes over first 10 at their 17.
Offense, snap infraction, number 64. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The Bears averaging 8 penalties a game for 81 yards. You do not want to be moving backwards against a good football team like Hampton.
Yeah, you can't. You know, not when you're trying to pull off the upset. 8 plays a game is not bad. You can live with that. But when you're trying to play an A-plus game, which is what it's going to take to beat this team, you have to eliminate the penalties. And right now, you just have to give your defense some time to get off the field. You start off first and 15, you're digging yourself a hole right away.
Little John, who has completed 40% of his passes coming in, already thrown an interception in this one to the middle linebacker, Justin Durant. He's got to be careful, but he also has to be aggressive, one would assume. Side handoff goes to Jackson. He gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more. That'll make it second down.
You know, if you are Morgan State, talk about their keys to winning. One, they want to keep this a low-scoring game. Well, they haven't done that, and offensively, they've got to eliminate the turnover. Well, they've had 2 times holding the ball and turning it over 1 time. They do want to become more aggressive, but you can't get away from your game plan. If they can put together a nice 90-yard drive right now, the defense will rest, they'll have points on the scoreboard, and Hampton will realize that they're not going to go away. So keep fighting, stick to your game plan, and play your best right now, because this drive is crucial.
Second down and 9. Little John in trouble, escapes. He lobs this one downfield, pass was intended for Kelvin Dickens. Dickens looking for a flag, gets none. Good coverage by Reginald Knox.
I'm looking for a flag because as he came back for the ball, you could tell Dickens was only able to free one of his arms. If your right hand's going up for the ball, the left must be getting held there, but the referee must not have had the angle. Look at this. As he comes back for the ball, look at his left arm. He's trying to get it free, and the defensive back wouldn't let it go, and Knox. Good move, because it's only cheating if you get caught, but that should have been a penalty flag there.
So that'll make it 3rd down. Little John 0 for 3 throwing the football this early part of the football game. 7 minutes left here in the first quarter.
This is one where he needs to move the chains. He needs to come up with a first down either by running or passing, but he needs to move the chains.
This is one of the best offenses in the conference. I mean, on the ground, they're giving you 243 a game, and in the air, 168 a game. Their 411 yards per game offensively is second best. So they can get yards. Pass is complete. He's the tight end. And look at the run by Chris Cash.
That's what I'm talking about, big fella. You're the tight end. These little defensive backs come up and try and blow you away. You got to get hyped up and say, hey, I'm 6'4", 240 pounds with a nice frame. My team needs a first down. You are not going to stop me from getting this first down. The mark of a good tight end. First guy doesn't bring him down. He gets the ball, turns upfield right away. Booyah! Bam! Coming back and forth to the whole Hampton Pirate defense to bring him down. That's called setting the tone offensively. He has to go back into the huddle and tell the rest of the guys, come on now, let's play. You see what I'm going to get my man. You get yours, and we'll be right back in this game.
Calvin Bannister, number 25, is the first man who came up and tried to bring him down. He probably felt the brunt of that force as they'll measure for the first. And it is close. Bradshaw Littlejohn is saying first down, but I haven't seen the officials say first down.
You know, exactly. He's got a good look right there, but I think right now, even if you don't get it, you got to go for it. I mean, after you saw the effort
in your own
there,
territory,
take a chance. You got a quarterback that weighs 260 pounds. Get me 2 inches. Trip and fall down and get 2 inches. You saw Cash go for it, not get denied. You would have to go for it too, but hey, it's all for Navy because they did get the first down.
Well, they have gone for on fourth down 16 times this year, converted 9 of them. So they'll do it a 17th time. No, they did get the first down. Excuse me, check that. They gave Morgan State the first down. So Littlejohn on first down, trying to get away from pressure and can't do so.
That's where you got to know. You're the senior on that team. Your quarterback draw. They had it covered. Take 2 steps back, 1 step forward, and if you lose yards, let it be 1 to 2 yards. You can't let it become a 12-yard loss.
This offensive line has allowed 9 sacks coming in. Face mask, though, charged to Hampton, so they'll be bailed out on that play.
Face mask, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
But outside of the call, you got to get a little upset there as your quarterback. Because imagine if he wouldn't have been saved by that face mask. You call a running play on first down, and all of a sudden you would lose 10 yards. Those little things right there where they say Littlejohn every now and then tries to do too much instead of just eating it and coming back on the next play.
As I said, they've allowed 9 sacks on the season coming in. That's the most in the conference. And that despite the fact that they've got experience all across this offensive line.
That's true. When you have a mobile quarterback,
They got 4 seniors, if I'm not mistaken.
sometimes the sacks aren't really your fault. Littlejohn likes to run around a lot. I mean, he's rushed for 400 yards so far this year, 355. And on a play like that, if they wouldn't have the penalty, that would have been a sack. And it wasn't really their fault. Still don't give an excuse. I'm a quarterback. Protect me at all costs.
Whether I run or not, huh?
That's right.
1st and 5 after the face mask penalty. Cash to a little motion movement as they give it to the tailback. And Jackson picks up good yardage, close to another first down. I got to tell you, this is an offense without a running back in Craig Nelson, young man who went to Christ the King High School over in New York, and they really miss him.
Have you ever seen somebody make a tackle on the ground? He's there, and he misses him completely. The cutback lane was available on the outside, and the linebacker overran the play and kind of stuck his leg up there to make the play, but that's that guy, Justin Durant. He just has a knack for making big tackles.
But without Craig Nelson, the starting running back, Jason Jackson, has really had to carry the load for this team. His first last week against San Jose State. Good job by Littlejohn to get past the pressure. Find his receiver. Catch made by Kelvin Dickens.
Great adjustment on the ball. Great adjustment on the ball by Kelvin Dickens. You know, you're going to see two of the premier receiving corps in the conference here, and Dickens has got some size on him, 6'3", 200 pounds, so he can take advantage of some of those smaller cornerbacks for Hampton.
51-yard pickup on this pass play.
Yeah, you see that. Makes the first guy miss, and once they blitz a linebacker, you know you've got one-on-one coverage down the field. If I throw the ball up in the air, you just have to turn, adjust, and make a play. And the toughest ball for a defensive back to defend is an underthrown go route, because you're there and you have to turn and adjust to the ball. And Dickens does a good job of seeing the ball and getting to the football.
Reggie Knox had gotten away with that penalty a couple of plays ago. He couldn't get away with anything on that one, huh? Here we go, first down now. Jackson again, and the first man to hit him is Brian Houston inside after he picks up maybe a yard.
And watch Brian Houston off that. He plays what they call that pirate linebacker position. And they call it the pirate because Joe Taylor tries to put the pirate, his best tackler, around the ball as much as possible in anticipation for where the ball will be going. A lot of teams call it a weak side linebacker, but for them, it's the pirate because he'll come inside if they're anticipating middle runs.
And there, right, good look right there at Brian Houston. Redshirt senior from Riverdale, Georgia. Well, so far the Bears have gone 72 yards on this drive after accumulating no yards on the first two. And this one almost picked off by Bannister. Little John let that one get away from him.
I mean, I'm saying no up front because I knew he was in trouble. And every now and then when the play doesn't have good chemistry, take off running, get rid of it there. The play fake from the very beginning of this play. You see here, they've got inside-out coverage on Manis. He's slipping, falling down. The ball hangs in the air for a long time, long enough for the defensive back that wasn't even covering Manis to come off and peel back on that ball and get it. You can't lob balls on the outside. It's a bad habit there. Any ball thrown to the outside portion of the field has to have some velocity on it unless you're throwing a go route.
Again, you would assume Bannister with a good opportunity at an interception, already has 2 this year.
He did a good job of just spinning around because he actually wasn't even in coverage. Yes. He just saw that ball float and came off his man.
Third down now for Little John. Creating some time, completing his pass. Jackson makes the catch down to the 3-yard line. Finally, a little light at the end of the tunnel for Morgan State with this nice drive.
That's why you have to live with Little John there. You'll see the play before, he made what would have been called an ill-conceived pass. This time again, he came back and broke all the rules of a quarterback throwing the ball soft down the middle, but he saw somebody crossing there, so he's got a love-hate relationship with him, thrown on the run and just dig the ball over the head for the 14-yard completion there to the running back Jackson, sneaking out of the backfield. Good vision by Bradshaw Littlejohn.
Meanwhile, Durant, great defensive help there. I mean, as a middle linebacker, he's been all over the field. Can't stop everybody, though. First and goal, Morgan State. Here's Little John, touchdown for the big guy.
What a block. What a block by Jason Jackson. That's the stuff you see there. Bradshaw Littlejohn with the touchdown, but Jason Jackson went there and stuck his 200-pound frame in there to knock out the defensive end for Hampton.
Little John's 5th touchdown run of the year. And we have a 10-point ball game. Keever on to attempt the point after. And this one is blocked. And keep in mind, this ball is live. They can pick it up and run it back the other way for 6. And Reggie Knox trips after picking it up, so the score will remain the same, 16-6.
Join us as we pay tribute to the best in funny at the BET
stand and walk all the way down the field because he wants to kick it out of bounds or to the 30 or 40-yard line. And that just tells you what type of talent that Jerome Mathis is.
And the respect that the opponents have for him. So first down now for Hampton. Ball at the 44-yard line. .330 left here in the first. Pirates have been in control, doing pretty much they want offensively as they get it out to Marquay McDaniel. He'll pick up maybe a yard on the swing pass.
But now the attitude's changed a little bit. That last possession, the Pirates came out attacking because Morgan hadn't shown they were going to be able to move the ball. Well, now Morgan showed that they can throw the football a little bit, moving on you, so you better concentrate. You hear Coach Hill getting the troops going there and telling them, hey, we got one drive, but we're going to need more of those drives. And the defense do their part. Offense has put it on our shoulders.
Well, that's the key, is this defense trying to stop this offense. And the Pirates have been solid throwing the football. They haven't been so solid running it. As Alonzo Coleman has had a hard time trying to find some room to do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, and they're getting penetration. And you talked about the accolades that the Hampton linemen have had. We talked to Coach Hill Ely, and he said, I don't think these guys are going to be able to block the big tape. I think my D-line can attack their offensive line, and we can frustrate Coleman. Now, Coleman is such a talent that you can't rely on one person to bring him down, because he can make 3 people miss and take it 60 yards to the house on you, as he did against Howard. So he realized offensive line is their weak spot. He's going to attack with their defensive front.
Shotgun formation on 3rd down and 9 for Princeton Shepherd and Hampton. Pass complete. And a good catch by Faulkner, who's having quite a day early on.
He's looking fantastic, and Princeton Shepherd is looking really good. Very impressed with his growth and maturity as a quarterback, and he's looking like he understands the system, and he's in control of the offense. Taking a look here, making his read, going where he has one-on-one coverage, out route, defensive back gives you too much cushion. Take the simple route there and just pitching and catching the ball.
11-yard gain gives him a first down. Shepherd, great size, 6'5", 205 pounds. The kind of size that people love to see in a quarterback, as you can see over that offensive line. Coleman takes the handoff inside, and there you get a small glimpse of the fact that he's not only a very quick player, but also a strong player.
And powerful, and he knows how to adjust his pad level there. I mean, that has to be the most boring 7-yard run you saw. They hit him behind the line of scrimmage, but he has that great lean, where even if you stop him, he's still getting positive yards. He was hitting the backfield, still came away with the 7-yard gain.
People at Hampton were all over my case. I said last week that he was held down and running early on in the year, and they said, wait a minute, didn't you see he had 202 yards to open things up against the Bison? Of Howard, that is. And here's Coleman again. Good defensive play, although a flag will be thrown, but Shannon Maynard came up and made the tackle. They're going to say he grabbed the face mask.
I don't know. That was close there. It looked like he had the shoulder pads there with a good arm tackle, but that's the risk you take when you try and tackle people that high.
Again, they love to call these linebackers the horsemen because they're very aggressive.
Yeah, you see him, the heat-seeking missile there, and he's got him by the shoulders. He's got him by the shoulder, and they actually called the 15-yard version of that penalty on him, too, which is kind of tough. Great tackle there, great to have it negated by the face mask call.
Maynard, Vincent Brown, who's the reigning MEAC Player of the Week defensively, and Carlos Watts, the 3 linebackers for Morgan State that get it done week in and week out. Although they have been injured this year, that has contributed a little bit to them giving up a lot of yards offensively to their opponents. They try the inside of this defense again, giving it to Mr. Coleman, and he picks up a couple of yards.
Yeah, and it's runs like that that just kind of frustrates you defensively. You've got your strength, which is your front 4, and you've got 3 great linebackers, and here it is, they run this little dive with Coleman, and you got him stopped in the backfield, but he keeps his legs going where he gets a positive 3 yards. So offensive coordinators never complain when you get 3 yards a pop on first down.
Coleman last year was the MEAC Rookie of the Year. This time he can't get it going. He's coming up to make the tackles, the middle linebacker, Vincent Brown.
Great tackle. That's why he's the leading tackle there. One-on-one with the linebacker and the running back, and you would think Coleman would win that battle, giving him a couple shakes, but Brown makes a textbook tackle to negate the game.
Brown, who transferred from Memphis to Hampton, and ever since he's gotten there, he's been doing nothing but making favorable impressions week in and week out. 3rd down now. Make it 5. Shepherd going to hold on to it. Shepherd going to get the first down, and he's going to get a touchdown.
What an athlete.
Princeton Shepherd takes it in from 16 yards out, and the Pirates extend their lead again, 22-6.
When we saw the stat line on Princeton Shepard, I told you what you weren't going to see was the excellent mobility that he had there. 6'5", 215 pounds, that's a lot of targets to hit. But when you can even have the long build that he has, you can make people miss as well. That was a great run, great athleticism by Princeton Shepard.
So Patarini on to attempt the point after. The kick is good. So 17-point lead, excuse me, Jay, for Hampton on this ball game, and we're still in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're scoring a lot of points. And take a look, this line is taking pride, giving him time. They've got the perfect call on a quarterback draw here. They're stealing the block there, giving them a lane to rush, the blitzer linebacker, and then the rest is Princeton Shepard just making Derrick Gross, the starting safety for Morgan, miss. And that's one of those keys where you see Shepard here, he's coming right at you. You've got the angle on him, but all of a sudden gives you a little dead leg to the inside, stiff arm like Walter Payton, and scoots to the outside for a score. Who said quarterbacks aren't athletes, George?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you just said I wasn't an athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Terrell Floyd was the man on the defensive end who really got sucked in. I mean, he came with a whole lot of rush on the outside, and they just sort of let him get where he wanted to go, and that opened up the big hole.
And that's smart coaching, because they had a design run call, so you wanted them to give you an aggressive push to the outside and open up a lane on the inside so the quarterback can scoot up in the line of scrimmage before the outside blitz can get there.
So both quarterbacks now have run for touchdowns in this one, but Shepard's from 17 yards out, giving his club a big lead, 23-6. Morgan State now going to try to counter if they can. And McKenzie with the return. And McKenzie was just tripped up. Looked like he was just getting going. But coming up to make the tackle, Henry Jones, a backup wide receiver. And that may have saved real big yards.
These Bears have a lot of fight. If you take a look at the key is get to the wedge, catch the ball, get up the middle field as soon as possible, make one or two guys miss, and he gets to the seam. And if he doesn't get spun around there, that kicker's not going to make that tackle. He got spun, so you were right. Henry Jones really helped save a touchdown.
But Morgan State still has good field position with the football. It starts at the 36-yard line. Again, they're coming off a 9-play drive in which they went 89 yards. See if they can do it again. Little John. Bacon. Drops it to a wide-open receiver. Catch is made, and a first down. Tommy Manis was sitting there for about 5 minutes waiting for the ball. But a flag has been thrown. It's sitting at the 37-yard line. We'll have to wait and see if that's holding.
I think he crossed the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he crossed the line of scrimmage there. They did a lot of play-action fake on that play there. Manis was wide open. He was there forever. And by the time Little John saw him, he'd already crossed the line of scrimmage.
The one thing about Bradshaw Littlejohn, and he'll be the first to tell you, he likes the contact. He likes to get out there and run the football, but that sometimes works against him, like in a situation right here.
Right here. I mean, yeah, they're running the dive option, and right away he starts thinking, okay, I'm going to run the ball, I'm going to run. Look at Manis. He was over there wide open. He crossed the line of scrimmage, and then he backed up, and he was on the line of scrimmage. Manis had been sitting there wide open. He found a soft spot in the coverage, but because Bradshaw likes to run a little bit and thinks run first, pass second, he was late in his progressions.
Like I said, last week he struggled. He completed just 5 of 17 passes for 30 yards against San Jose, but he did rush for 96 yards. So there is a confidence when it comes to tucking it. But you're reminded of the old days with Randall Cunningham and saying to yourself, you can't do it all by yourself. When he was in his early days with Philly, when you start getting more people involved, your teammates involved, you're a better football team because of it.
Exactly. That makes your wide receivers want to play for you. They want to go there and help you out and work extra hard to get open, but nothing's more disheartening to a wide receiver to run a great route and not get the ball.
So tough when you got athletes like this, like these quarterbacks that can just do a couple of different things, but he's got to get his team involved because they trail in this one early after one quarter, 23-6.
We're cooking now.
23-6 is your score here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Meadowlands. Time now was for our McDonald's first quarter stats, brought to you, of course, by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
I can tell you right now, Morgan State, they're not loving it so much, are they, Jim?
Not at all. Giving up 200 yards in the first quarter. That's painful to watch.
As I said, the defense has given up an average of over 400 yards per game. They're on pace to making that happen again, but here's Little John. Dump it. Had to find some time. Finally found his backup tight end, Camaro Henson.
What they're starting to do there is confuse the quarterback a little bit. Haven't seen that too much on this level, but they ran a little zone blitz on you there. They had the defensive lineman running downfield with the tight end, and that kind of messed up Little John's read, but a good job on the improvisation to get the ball to Camaro.
There's Henson from out of Annapolis, Maryland, not too far away from Morgan State. JUCO transfer. That's his second reception on the season. But it wasn't enough for a first down, so Morgan State now forced to punt the football. Earl Johnson will punt. Standing back deep at his own 20-yard line, that's Marquay McDaniel. Again, averaging 20 yards per return. His longest this year, 85. And McDaniel going to watch this one roll out of bounds at the 20, but they take over 1st and 10. 35-yard punt, no return. So here come the Pirates. Again, 3-0 and averaging 41 points per game.
Think they'll hit it today?
They're already on their way, right? They got 23 now.
Kids, can they do it in a half? The way they're going, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they come out getting aggressive again with the play call selection. The last drive, they took it downfield, nice, thorough drive. But now they've got that comfort lead of, 17 points. They may come out firing darts down the field again.
And Princeton Shepherd, having completed 7 of 10, already been solid. 2 touchdown passes. Not bad. But nothing going on that play right there as the middle linebacker, Vincent Brown, came up to make the stop.
And I'm sure Coach Kites, the offensive coordinator for Hampton, is saying, I can't believe it. They still are playing me one-on-one on the outside and will not let me run the ball with Alonzo Coleman. But I'm surprised as well. I mean, they're playing one-on-one coverage on the outside, putting 9 guys close to the line of scrimmage to stop the run, and they're telling us Alonzo Coleman is not going to beat us.
Dolson is still one cornerback. The other one is Hayes. And Shepherd is able to escape the pressure. Going to hold on to it. Run out of bounds at the 31. That's a first down, but I saw a flag being thrown from the secondary.
Yeah, I saw 2 flags, one in the middle field and one on the sideline. The one on the sideline may be offensive holding the wide receiver trying to block for the quarterback. Did you notice the difference in the scrambling techniques? Shepherd scrambled, but the whole time while he was scrambling, he didn't tuck the ball and run until after he made 3 guys miss. Little John makes the first guy miss, and he tucks it, gets ready to run. But Shepherd does a good job of keeping it downfield.
On the play. There was no flag on the play.
Now, I have respect for the MEAC officials, but you tell me, okay, they throw 1 flag and there's no flag, I understand, mistake. But if 2 flags come out,
they both saw the same thing. They thought that it was a pass play and the wide receivers were blocking, so they were going to call some type of offensive pass interference. But since Shepherd ran the ball, you could go ahead and block downfield. If he had thrown it, those flags would have stood.
So Shepherd's run, good for a first down to the 31-yard line, an 11-yard pickup. Still here in the first half. With 13 minutes left, but the Bears really have to defensively come up strong. Can't afford to let Hampton put more points on the board. This pass over the middle looked like it was intended for his tailback, Coleman, overthrew him.
Yeah, what the Morgan State defensive backs have decided to do with Faulkner and those guys is get physical with them. They're knocking them around on the ball. They're saying, hey, if the referee's going to call pass interference, let them call pass interference. But we're not going to let these little speed rats you guys have run up on the field untouched. So they're getting physical with them in the defensive secondary for Morgan State. And they caused 2 Pirate wide receivers to fall down that last play.
Second down now and 10. Shepherd, handoff. And Coleman Picks up about 6 yards on the play. That'll set up third down. By the way, Jay, got to remind you, do not forget those comedy awards. We talked about them last week. They're coming your way Tuesday, the 28th of September at 9 o'clock. Jamie Foxx is going to host it. Snoop Dogg going to do a little thing. Chris Rock's going to be there. Should be a lot of fun. As you get a good look at Alonzo Coleman being attended to. And if you're a Hampton fan, that is something you do not want to see. Ardell McDaniel's in the backfield now. A Shepard on third down. Looking to pass it and nothing doing. Good play by the linebacker, Vincent Brown, who was not going to be duped.
What a coverage sack. What a coverage sack. Like I said, the secondary from Morgan State is getting physical with these wide receivers from Hampton. They were knocking them all over the place, knocking them off their routes. When one was open for 1 second, then it was closed down. Shepard just had no place to go with the football. Vincent Brown was the recipient of the sack, but the Morgan State secondary did a great job. Hayes, Garris, Davis, Golson, all those guys covered the Hampton Pilot receivers like white on rice.
So Murrow now in the punt the football. 38 yards per punt, second best in the MEAC. And this one blocked. Oh, he's going to get away. 6, touchdown.
You know, you almost want to tell the guy, slow down, nobody's coming behind you, just fall on the ball, pick it up. He got too excited and jumped on it. The craziest things happen when you jump on a football on artificial turf. Some unnatural forces come in.
Kendall Jackson looks like he's the one who got the hand on it. The man who fell on the football is Larry Dixon, the sophomore from Baltimore. And Morgan State looks like they're going to go for 2.
Smart call that you have these certain things drawn up, and it tells you basically if you're down by 11, then you go for 2. If you're down by 10, then you go for 1. So he's just sticking with the script right here, going for 2.
Big play for Morgan State.
I'm telling you, the Bears are risen, George, and they're not quick to go back into that cave. You see the penetration here right up the middle. You got to get that better block, because he could have blocked that easily. And then you see the youngster come up here and look, trying to land on that ball on artificial turf. Oh no! But hey, I like the stick to it-ness to go and get it on the line, feet in bounds. Good call for the touchdown there.
And how about Kendall Jackson? Number 36, the man who made the block. Full extension to come up and make that play. That's the kind of effort we were talking about, the focus that you need. We talked about at the top of the show. And Donald Hill has not let his team quit in this thing. You would assume that they could have done that 5-10 minutes ago.
A long time ago. They kept fighting there. You know, he gets all the props right there, because that's a thankless job. You know, being the outside guy gunning on that, you're going to jump for the ball. You're either going to hit the ball and get a big play, somebody else will get the touchdown, or you're going to get turf burns. So, in this case, the turf burns are worth it if you can get hold of the football and put points on the board for your team.
Jackson, another of those good-looking freshmen that Donald Hill has brought to this program.
Yeah, he's starting to sign some recruits now.
Yes, he is.
He's turning away a couple of them, too. We got to talk about that a little later.
One of them that he's going against in this football game. So they're going for 2. Trailing 23-12. Little John going to hold on to the football, then try to pitch. And Jackson will do well just to fall on it. Out of bounds. So the 2-point conversion fails for Morgan State. But after the punt and touchdown, they cut back into that lead. 23-12 our score with over 11 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Black College Football on BET. Now, reminding you, this is Joe Cleese, reminding you that we got Hampton band against Morgan State's band at halftime. Now, last week, Jackson State band won the Battle of the Bands. Make sure this week you go on to BET.com and vote for your favorite band at this week's halftime, all right? Joe Cleese telling y'all to vote, all right? All right.
See, I'm not going to ask Joe who he thinks is going to win this week.
Because he's
biased. You know who he's going with.
So you want a neutral opinion?
That's his man. Well, okay, yeah, give me a neutral opinion.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
I don't know. I've seen both this year. I've seen both bands this year, and I know it's going to be a good contest.
Yes,
I will say that. It'll be a good one. Just like last week was, too. And that was hot. Everybody having the opportunity to go onto the website and vote for your favorite band. I mean, that's what it's all about, because we all have opinions, but hey.
And more than anything, we want to thank all the folks, because there were a lot of people that logged on and voted for the battle last week between Jackson State and Tennessee State.
The Sonic Boom of the South versus the Aristocrats. I like that name.
The boom, and the Boom came away with the Vic. So we'll see now who's going to win today. But we still got some football left in this one. Again, they continue to keep it away from Mathis with the squib kick. Hampton is going to return the ball out to about the 33-yard line. That was Ardell McDaniels with the return. And by the way, if you just joined us, it has been nothing but excitement early on. First play of the game for Hampton. 65-yard touchdown pass to Jerome Mathis. Then they come back again and deliver the touchdown pass to Derek Faulkner. And this time, Princeton Shepherd holds on to it, goes in from 17 yards out. And you would have thought that it was over. It was all Hampton. And yet Morgan State still battling, blocks a punt. I mean, have we seen everything thus far in this program? We've seen block punts, block extra points. We haven't seen a safety ball. Well, we can't have everything. But we've seen a lot. And we've still got a lot of football up in the front. And another big-time play for Hampton over the middle.
And we're also seeing a quarterback grow in his maturity level and tell everybody out there in the rest of the country that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Marquay McDaniel with the 42-yard catch.
I love this. Cover two, you have to attack the middle of the field. So what do you look for? Marquay McDaniel gets wide open down the middle of the field. Shepherd delivers a strike. That means the wide receiver and the quarterback were on the same page. Beautiful release, beautiful pass, hit him in stride. If he doesn't make that game-saving tackle, then that's a touchdown.
McDaniel, one of those good players, always having played in the shadow of someone real good here. Zuriel Smith, now Jerome Mathis, but he makes plays. This time, quick pattern. The pass is complete for Hampton, making the catch. Andre Jones.
And Jones is one of those guys that can play, too. I mean, they've got something down there in the water in Hampton, Virginia. 6'2", 205, and he's the fourth wide receiver on there, and he comes from that football-playing district, the Peninsula District.
Absolutely.
You know something about that.
Yes, I do.
They just reload down there at Hampton. Now, and that's what happens when you build a program. I mean, recruits come and find you.
Yes.
And once you get them eligible and they play, then you go out and build a program year in and year out.
Second down after the 2-yard pickup by Jones and 8. This time, Shepherd run a little option. You know, often this man 6'5" with those long legs trying to run down the line of scrimmage, looking for a man to pitch or looking to keep it.
And I like that. He read his keys. It wasn't a selfish option. It wasn't like, I'm going out there just trying to build up my stats. He read his keys. Nobody picked up the quarterback. He held on to the football, even though the pitch to Coleman is always a good option. But he did a good job of sticking with his keys and moving the chains and bringing up a short 3rd and 1.
After the 9-yard pickup for Princeton Shepherd.
But I like what they're doing here at Hampton. You know, that last play there was an option run out of a spread formation. So they're trying to loosen up the front seven for Morgan. So they're spreading out the field in order to run. A lot of teams spread to pass. Right now, they're spreading the field in order to run.
Again, that's Donald Hill on the right. Greg Butler on the left, the defensive coordinator for this team, a guy who you know pretty well, Jay.
We go way back. I put rings on his finger. He was that's what I say. He was a defensive coach when I was at Howard.
And you can see what Hampton has left for a first down. Shepherd has thrown for 214 yards. And that's just here in the first half, and that's already his career high for a whole game.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's making great throws, and he hasn't made any poor decisions. So outside the completion percentage, he's dominated. He's been the best player on the field so far today.
And he holds on to the football and gets the first down on 3rd and inches.
You know, while we're talking about Princeton Shepherd, this is what college football is all about. They've got a program down there at Hampton they call Project Hope. It gives individuals, especially Prop 48, an opportunity to go to school, and if you graduate on time, you get back your prop year. So Shepherd is a junior but he will graduate next year as a senior, and he will get one more year. So you're going to see him for 2 more years, and that's what it's all about. We all make mistakes when we're young in high school, but the fact that, hey, he got to college and he's graduating.
And sometimes it's not the mistakes we make. Sometimes we're not quite prepared, depending on what high school we come from.
Depending on what high school, sometimes the homies make the mistake for you. You could be kind of the wrong place, wrong time, and don't take the SAT as seriously as you would like, but I really like to see that's what it's all about. When you get a guy, because I mean, let's face it, HBCUs are all about giving young black men an opportunity to graduate from college. He made some mistakes. He's going to graduate from college, and he's going to be a leader. And if you can compete on the field, then you can compete on the field of life.
And that first down play pass was intended for his big fullback. And when I say big fullback, I mean a big fullback.
That's a load.
And Curtis Lewis. Got great hands, though. Doesn't run the football too often, but loves to come out of the backfield and make catches. Second down now and 10. Pirates knocking at the door. Whistle blown, and the whistle was blown before Morgan State really got moving, so one would assume maybe it's against the offense for movement on that line.
Maybe the Pirates made a mistake today.
Offense number 72, snap infraction, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
And we know it's Jelani Clement because the official said 72. Now, last year, the MEAC officials were calling numbers, and that seemed new to everybody. But the MEAC really was taking the lead because this year, everybody in college football now is calling out the numbers of those who commit the infraction.
Yeah, when I talked with Johnny Greer about it, he said the rule was always in place, but no conference ever made the decision to go ahead and do it. With Johnny Greer being the head of MEAC officials and having the NFL experience, he's telling his guys, if you're going to call a penalty, the coach has the right to know who you're calling the penalty on. That eliminates the phantom flags you see in college football.
Used to be the thought, though, they didn't want to let the kids, you didn't want to expose the kids. Second down, 15. Shepard's pass into the end zone is incomplete. Sean Garris defensively there.
Good job by Garris there, understanding his keys. They tried to set him up and do a rollout pass to the left and a throwback to the right to the tight end, Marcus Hardy, and Garris does a good job. You see this? This is a hard rollout left, and the quarterback looks back to his right side. Garris didn't get fooled and didn't drift over to the left side of the field, so good job for safety there, staying with his keys.
Garris is one of 2 seniors in that defensive secondary. Choo-Choo Davis, number 6, the other. Both of them safeties, and they really need their experience with all that youth on the corners. Third down now and 15. You can see the Pirates 3 for 6 on third down thus far. Shepard looking for some room, finds it. Nice little move right there to escape the defender, but he's going to come up short of a first down.
Well, short of a first down, but a good job by the Bear defense of trying to eliminate this drive and holding them once you get inside the 20-yard line, holding them to a field goal attempt. We don't know if they'll make it, but these Bears have a lot of fight up in them. I mean, they've been, but they won't break it. They're hanging around just enough so that their team can continue to be in this football game, and that's been the story of the Bears this year. I mean, they've been in every football game they've been in, giving up a lot of points, scored a lot of points, never been completely blown out.
30-yard attempt for Paterini. He's already made a 22-yarder. Kick is up. Kick is good. Andrew Paterini showing a little foot with 2 field goals in this one. And the Pirates put more points on the board as they re-extend that lead to 26-12. So it's been special teams play, offense, defense. We got an exciting one here. The Pirates lead with 8.5 left in the first. And welcome back to another presentation of Black College Football on BET, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And it's been all Hampton here in the first half, although Morgan State been hanging tough. The Pirates with a comfortable lead at 26-12. See if the Bears can answer. Returned by McKenzie. Takes it out to about the 20-yard line. Here comes Morgan State's offense.
Not a lot has changed since the last time Morgan State had the football. They were down by 2 scores in. Now they're down by 2 touchdowns again. They have to have the ability to exchange points with them right for a while so the defense can figure out a way to slow down the Pirates. So another big drive coming up for the Bears before the half.
So Littlejohn, the transfer from Michigan State, with 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Going to go shotgun. Quickly delivered. Pass caught by Dickens, and Dickens makes a nice move to get 1st down yardage.
I like that. Open up the passing game. I thought that the Morgan State wide receivers were just as talented and capable as Flight 238 for Hampton. One of the names we haven't called today has been Tommy Mannis, the big wide receiver, their big-time player, hasn't touched the ball yet today, and they call him Taco at 6'5", 215. Give him a couple attempts every time because he's a game breaker.
Yeah, he's the 3rd leading receiver in the conference coming in, Tommy Mannis, number 80. As you get a look at the numbers for Bradshaw Littlejohn, this one. I'll tell you, he took his time on that play, delivered a nice little pass. Very patient in the pocket. Not much time on that clock. They snap it just in time, and this time Littlejohn holds on to the football.
Now, that was being smart right there because he called an audible to a dive option to the left or right. Somebody went the wrong way. So rather than try and do too much and run around crazy, he just decided to eat it. He's coming here and his back's not there. Hey, let me just lower the shoulders, go down, gain 1 yard, not try and make anything too spectacular happen, and just come back and try and get him on the 2nd down play.
Coach Hill will tell you that there are many times that we will make a call designed for Littlejohn to run. People think he's scrambling, but in reality, we've called the play for him to run the football. We have that much confidence in him. 2nd down now and 9. Again from the shotgun. Delivers the quick pass out. This time you get a chance to see Taco, as Jay called him, Tommy Mannis.
So that's what you want to see there. I mean, the big target. You look at the frame on this guy, 6'5", 215 with 4.4, 4.5 speed. So you can see what the NFL scouts are kind of drooling about. And those are his numbers there for the year. Not only has he had the ability to separate from the small defensive back, but he's elevated this receiving corps. Coach Hill said that he came in as a junior college transfer and raised our expectation level for wide receivers in the Morgan State program.
Mannis' catch picked up 9 yards, 3rd now and 1. Ash in motion. As they give it to the tailback, Jackson, and Jackson picks up the 1st down. Kendall Langford, number 98, a good-looking freshman, is the man who made the tackle.
And what you want to see on a run like this is the vision by the running back. You see the ball here, cut back this way. All great runners have good vision there. One guy to beat, learn how to turn your pads sideways, and that's good vision. And Jason Jackson is a good running back, but Craig T. Nelson was a great running back. And the key is when you can find replacements like that, that means your coaching staff is doing a good job at coaching up your running backs.
Littlejohn now on 1st down. Going to throw downfield. Looking for Dickens. And he was working against Bannister. Littlejohn, who started out the game 0 for 3, has now completed 6 of his last 8. That one, though, incomplete. Good defense by Bannister.
Yeah, good defense here. And you see Dickens trying to go and reposition themselves again to come back for that ball, but Bannister was having none of that on that possession there. First time you got me, you won't get me the 2nd time. So defensive backs, give them credit too now. They're taught to keep the ball out the wide receiver's hand.
That'll create a 2nd down. Then Morgan State, with 6 minutes left here in the 1st half, doing what they can to keep pace with this Hampton Pirates team. Offensively, they've looked flawless. Littlejohn's going to keep it. It's awful tough trying to get past Justin Durant, number 52, which he's unable to do on that play.
Durant, you know, once he gets his eyes on you and he's got a lane to get to you, he's going to find the shortest distance between the 2 points. One thing about this Hampton Pirates team is they're real confident and cocky. What I mean by that on defense, they're not trying to fool you schematically. They're not blitzing all the time. They're giving you one look all day long, and if you can stop it, then they'll make some adjustments. But they play cover 3 this whole game. They may do a couple things where by formation you bring in 5 wide receivers, they go to some type of shell coverage, but they're lining up 1 free safety in the middle, and you can see it right here. I mean, he's playing outside force and he's playing outside force. Cover 3 all day so you figure out how to beat us.
They blitzed on that play, and look at Durant. He's able to recover and get back and make the tackle on Jackson.
And when you got great players like that, making tackles like that, you don't need to do too many things to outsmart yourself that way. I mean, Durant recognized the screen play, and he attacked Jackson like Jackson stole something from him. Look at it. The defensive line is pressuring the quarterback. And then not only that, when you have the defensive line with that much pressure, you normally think the screen is going to be successful. But when you got linebackers reading their keys like Durant, tackling running backs behind the line of scrimmage, don't play at all.
Meanwhile, you've been showing you Langford. They really like that young man, just a freshman from Petersburg. He's already come in and leads the team in sacks. As that clock was rolling down, the play clock, and Littlejohn is able to snap the ball in time and look for his receiver downfield. A good defensive play for Hampton. Pass was intended for Deion Trotter, but defensively, Darul Diab is the man who comes up and makes the play.
What a call on 4th down. They must be getting some desperation in their voice. We'll find out. It'll be the Pirates' ball when we come back.
This portion of the Urban League Classic is brought to you by Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and by U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
Ladies' Night this fall, Tuesday through Thursday.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your man Joe Claire down here on the field, and this is one of the proudest moments in the world because at one point in time, the galaxy far, far away, I used to wear this suit. Now, it wasn't as nice as this one, but I wore this suit, and this is Mr. Gillard, who remembers when I was there. I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry. Back up to y'all upstairs, man. Oh, my God.
I told everybody in the pregame that Morgan hadn't had a winning season in 23 years. So that means Joe was the mascot during all those losing years.
Is Joe still Joe?
That's not even funny, Jay. That's not even funny. What about you, Jay? We gonna talk about you now? Can we talk about you?
Hey, winning record, baby.
But what about now? What about now? What about now? What about now? I'm about to start giving you the Charles Barkley call in a second.
Second down after the incompletion. The Pirates still looking for big plays, and this time the big plays made by the defensive line of Morgan State. That's Terrell Floyd coming in to make the sack. He has been active all first half.
Yeah, their score is getting pressure to Shepard, but so far Shepard's athleticism has gotten him out of trouble, but that defensive line is still coming. You got Eris Johnson, the tank, Jason Whaley, Terrell Floyd. They're continuing to bring that pressure. Now they just need some help in that defensive secondary.
Floyd, another of those JUCO transfers, providing depth, providing some aggressive play. Third down now, and a long way to go. Shepard, again pressure, and this time does a good job getting rid of the football. So today's Scholastic Athletes of the Game brought to you by Pepsi. It's Coca-Cola. And Chris Cass, the tight end from Morgan State. Justin Durant, the linebacker, just a sophomore from Hampton, our honorees. And it's nice to see guys who are not only playing well on the field, but also knowing that they're getting it done in the classroom.
Yep, and we've called both their names substantially in this first half, so you know they're players on and off the field.
Fourth down now. Murrow's going to punt. And this time Trotter having a hard time holding on to the football, and luckily the Bears are able to jump on it. That was a dangerous situation for Morgan State, but they're able to recover, and they'll take over 1st and 10 after the 44-yard punt. That's what we call the game face. You better have your game face on BET this year if you're in the band, because, again, it's battle of the bands every halftime. Morgan State and Hampton are going to do battle right here on BET, but right now the football team's doing battle, and the Pirates have the edge. 26-12, George Johnson along with Jay Walker and Joe Claire here at the Meadowlands, where Morgan State now going for the big play, and pass is incomplete. It was intended for Kelvin Dickens.
He's got some confidence throwing the ball down there to Dickens. Throw it up and just let him make a play.
Well, today's conference standings brought to you by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And You can see Hampton defeated at 3-0, won our own conference play. Bethune won earlier today over Norfolk State, reflected in the standings you can see right there.
South Carolina State, who we've got next week, and you know, hey, say what you want. Their one loss came against the number 3 ranked team in 1AA. So we're talking about Hampton, these other schools, but the Bulldogs seem like they're going to be ready to make a run as well.
Bulldogs playing Tennessee State next weekend here on BET as Little John fakes the pitch, holds on to it on 2nd down and 10, and picks up about 9 yards on the run. Still plenty of time left. 2:40 still counting. No need to rush.
No, you got to figure if they get any points at all on this drive, touchdown or field goal, Coach Hill can go in there and tell his team, hey, we played terrible in the first half, and we're only down by less than 10 points. So, you know, you got to think that, hey, they just want to get any type of points on the board so they can have some momentum to build on in the second half.
And a lot of it riding on the shoulders of this young man right there, Bradshaw Littlejohn. 3rd down and short. Littlejohn going to hold on to it, get the first down, got a block, still on his feet. Runs over a player or two and takes it close to midfield. And even a quarterback up here in the booth is impressed with the run by that quarterback. 18-yard pickup for Bradshaw Littlejohn.
I mean, Coach Taylor knew that was going to happen at some point during this game. You got a fullback underneath the center playing quarterback, and those can be dangerous plays, 3rd and short, because your team is so worried about stopping him here. What happens when he runs this way is what gets you in trouble. You see the big athleticism as they lower the boom.
Now, the clock has been running the whole time. In college football, it's supposed to stop as they move the sticks, right?
As they move the sticks, they're supposed to, but once they spot it, you keep it going. Yeah, so they just kept it going there. Nobody noticed.
Littlejohn throws, pass is complete. Nice little move by Trotter after he makes the catch, and he gets out of bounds to stop that clock.
But Deion Trotter is a former quarterback, see, so he knows the down and distance and the time and what all they're trying to accomplish right now, the 2-minute offense. And he came in there as a quarterback and has adjusted, and they feel real comfortable with him because they said they could put in anywhere on the field.
Well, you know, he was a wide receiver in high school at Warwick High School down in that Tidewater area. His quarterback back then was Marcus Vick.
One of them Vicks, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's like they got a little dynasty.
It was Marcus.
Tidewater. It was Marcus. You know, I trust you. You know, you're the expert on that.
But that kid right there could play football. 1st and 10 after his catch. The 41-yard line is the Bears now. Make a little move. Littlejohn throws it downfield. Wow. Pass was intended for Manis. And Bannister was back there defensively.
And that's one of the things where Bradshaw Littlejohn gets himself in trouble. Making up his mind before he threw the football. As you take a look here, look, I don't want you to look deep behind your screen, but I want you to find Trotter sitting right here, all by his lonesome, but Littlejohn made up his mind that he was going to throw the 7 route. Take the 6-yard gain right there in your face. You got plenty of time, but he made up his mind before he threw the ball where he was going with the football.
Is how dangerous, I mean, again, how easy is it to fall into a situation where you've already made your mind up what you want to do before you snap the football?
3-step drop, you have to do it as a
quarterbacks and great quarterbacks?
Yeah, on a 3-step drop, you have to make up your mind before the ball snap, but on the drop back, never. You get yourself in trouble every time.
Littlejohn, this time, nothing doing. I think he thought he was going to be able to get away from Langford. And then he just threw the ball away, and that could be intentional grounding.
Looks like trouble there. They're going to get him for that there. Trying to do too much. Trying to do too much. Trust your team. Trust that you're going to be able to make some plays and get back in this ball game. Because as a quarterback, you have to be in command of your offense at all times on the field.
Offense, intentional grounding, number 7. Ball is dead at the spot of the clock.
Let's check in with Cleveland. What's up, Joe? I am down here on the field with New Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, fellas, y'all look fabulous. Yeah, you're down here on the field with New Edition and Hampton. It's 12-26. They trying to clown me because I went to Morgan. Johnny Gill, you trying to clown me, Johnny Gill? Hey, man, give it up for Hampton. Oh, that's sad. That's bad, Johnny. Well, they going to perform at halftime. They trying to clown me down here, but I'm going to start singing. Popcorn love, me more than that to me. Popcorn love. Joe, sorry, they're not going to put you down at halftime. I don't think it's going to happen.
I would tell you.
Third down situation, and Little John's pass is incomplete. If we go back, Joe, anything? Hey, Joe. Huh? Joe, what about the performance? Can you tell us anything about what they're going to do?
What y'all going to do at halftime, right?
We're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit a little bit of the new single.
The new joint.
Yeah, we gotta put the new single out
It's
there.
cool if you don't want to.
Ask Ralph if you still got sensitivity.
Because I guarantee that if you with me, it's gonna be how it's supposed to be. Man, New Edition back. All the old cats go to the club tonight. There's New Edition back. What?
Good stuff, Joe. Good stuff.
So when I see New Edition,
having fun, man.
I think New Edition is the Temptations of my generation.
Morgan State on 4th down, and they had a long way to go for a first, and the punter lost control of the snap. Earl Johnson was your punter, couldn't make the catch, was forced to run the football, and now Hampton is going to take over with great field position in 43 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, and all Hampton's thinking now is let's get at least 3 more points on the board that we weren't planning on getting to make this a 3-score differential rather than just a 14-point lead they have right now. Big mistake like that can end up being just crucial to your game plan, because all you want to do is punt the ball away and go into the halftime down by 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Go in down by more, it deflates the bubble a little bit.
So let's see what Hampton does with under a minute left here in the first half. Again, look at Coleman. He just excites you every time he gets the football. Doesn't he?
He's strong. I mean, his 3 or 4 yard runs are exciting. He was grabbed from behind. Guy had his defensive. Looked like Earl Campbell there. When they said those tearaway jerseys, he ran so hard that the guy ripped his jersey because his legs just kept moving.
Carlos Watts made the tackle. 2nd down now for Shepard. Make it 5. Shepard's got a lot of real estate in front of him. Got a first down and got it inside the 15-yard line. A 21-yard run for Princeton Shepard.
The ability to have fresh legs that can run. I mean, that's priceless. To any offensive coordinator, that's just priceless. You got a quarterback that can beat you with his mind, beat you with his arm, and then you add in those size 12 sneakers that I'm sure he wears, and that adds up to a defensive coordinator's worst dream.
And so now Hampton calls a timeout. Andrew Patterini just got the nod from the head coach, Joe Taylor, to come in and attempt the field goal, which looks like it's going to be a 31-yard attempt. Depending on Murrow, who holds, will spot it. The ball is at the 14. If he goes 7 yards back after that, it'll put the hold at the 21. As you get a good look at Andrew Patterini, the top kicker in the MEAC. His only miss prior to today was from 49 yards out.
And that tells you how far black college football has come, that they even attempt 49-yard field goals with any type of regularity now.
He's 2 for 2 in this one now. And this one, like I said, from 31 yards out would give him 3 field goals in the first half, and it's good. So he's connected, Andrew Patterini, from 22, from 30, and right here from 31 yards out. And Hampton, with just 5 ticks on the clock in the first half, comfortably in front, 32-12.
Took advantage of the mistake. A good team is going to make you pay for a mistake. A great team is going to bury you every time you make a mistake.
And meanwhile, Coach Hill trying to get something from the official, trying to plead his case in some form. But when he goes in at halftime, I mean, who does he talk to? I mean, we've seen his defensive secondary sort of tighten up after being beaten the first, but the offense really hasn't done, I would assume, what he expects.
Offense hasn't helped. I mean, they just put up 7 points. They scored their touchdown, but the other points came off the special team, blocking the punt. So he can really just give a tongue lashing to everybody there in the room. You know, come out there with some pride when you wear that Bear uniform, because you guys are better than this. We prepared better than this, and our game plan should be reflected better than this.
And the special teams, again, unable to punt the football on their last possession, talking about Morgan State, which allowed Hampton to get the football back. Great field territory, and able to get another field goal, put more points on the board, and this should be the last play of the first half. So, folks, we played 1 half of football here at the New York Urban League Classic up in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the Pirates who came in ranked 20th in Division I AA, have been in control, looking to extend their undefeated mark to 4-0. They lead 29-12 over Morgan State. Our Southwest Airlines at the half, coming right your way.
Soul Food, tonight at 11.
Well, today's halftime report is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 non-stop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. Now time for the show, and we kick things off by sending it down to the field where Tiffany, host of The Center, is standing by. Tiff, take it away.
Let's get down then.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Are y'all having a good time? All right, are y'all ready? To get down and boogie with my boys, new edition. They're gonna make some noise. All right, they get ready in 1 second. Show your love for Bad Boy recording artist. New edition, y'all.
Hey, lady! What?
Let's do it. It's going down. It's going down.
Yeah, baby. On one.
Hampton.
Yeah.
BET Classic.
Check it out.
Come on.
All right.
Hey.
Come on.
Let me set it off in the right way. You got a banging booty in a tight waist. Up in the fancy you in a live day. Hopefully you in the bump of my place.
I can't believe I never saw you come. I think it's a pretty hand up on my skirt. I really wanna get you hot tonight. So tell me what I gotta do to hook up in the future. Baby, you choose whatever you like, and I'ma pick you up on time. And it's cool if you don't want to. She be a fool if you don't want to. Right? Because I guarantee you're gonna be feeling like you're supposed to. Check it out, Joe. Girl, give me a number. Here go my number. There you go. Give me my number. No, you don't. We're gonna get hot tonight. Girl, give me a number. Give it to me. Here go my number. There you go. Give me my number. No, you don't. We're gonna get hot tonight. And if you say you don't like it, we can do it your way. Anywhere you go. And if you say you don't like it my way, anyway you like it, tell me what I gotta do to hook up in the future. You choose the night, whatever you like, and I'ma pick you up on time. And it's cool if you don't want to. She's a fool if you don't want to. I guarantee that still with me, we're gonna have it. Everybody, so get your hands up. Give me my number. We're gonna get hot tonight. Come on. Come and get it. Get it, you don't really need it at all. Come on. I say yeah. Come on. I say hell yeah. We're gonna get hot tonight. Can we break it down? Can we break it down? Can we break it down? Check it out. We're gonna get hot tonight. So get your hands up. A lot of shorties in the club tonight. Shorty, only shorty, I'm a lover tonight. And only woman that I'm dating. They're gonna get hot over here. Let me show you some love. Girl, I wanna get you real hot tonight. If I can love you non-stop tonight, I wanna make you feel like it feels. We're gonna get hot tonight. Girl, give me your number. You know my number. You don't need my number. We're gonna get hot tonight. Girl, give me your number. You know my number. You don't need my number. We're gonna get hot tonight. And I wanna say, ooh, alright, yeah. you. Check it out. Thank you.
That, of course, Bad Boy Recording Artists, New Edition, a group that, you know, it's right here, you know, because we go way back. Now, what were you doing when they first jumped out?
Man, I was trying to sing Cool It Now, and Don't Count Me Out.
You weren't running around no like that, right?
Man. No, I couldn't dance like that. I couldn't dance.
Again, it is halftime. It's been all Hampton in this first half of the New York Urban League Classic. George Johnson, along with Jay Walker, and it has been all Princeton Shepherd. He has done it both with his legs, most importantly with his arm.
Yeah, this is one of the most dominating performances I've seen by a black quarterback in some time, especially Princeton Shepherd. He's grown and matured. Over 245 yards total offense, 217 passing, responsible for 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground, and that's just in one half, George. The best is yet to come.
Well,
I know Morgan State doesn't want to hear, but the fact that Hampton,
a very good football team, coming in at 3-0 and rolling and looking to stay undefeated. The band's coming your way right after this.
Just need Pepsi. It's the cola.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the best part of the game. It's halftime. That is the magnificent Morgan State Marching Band. Make sure you log on to BET.com and vote for your favorite in the Battle of the Bands of this game. Let's see what's going on, baby. Woo.
cooking now.
Welcome back, y'all. Now it's time to check out the magnificent marching force, the marching force of Hampton University. Log on to BET.com and vote for your favorite. Check them out, y'all. They give it corrupt.
best band. Again, go to BET.com. Give us your vote. We'll, of course, let you know the results next week when we do the Circle City. George, along with Jay Walker, we still got football. Half of football left. Hampton controlling this one. If you were to break it down, I would assume that if you look at both teams, you look at the performances of the quarterbacks, and you can tell where both teams are right now in this game.
Now, these quarterbacks are competing, and Princeton Shepard is running away with it. He's been in command all game long from the opening whistle. Bradshaw Littlejohn, Morgan State put a lot on his plate. He has to handle a lot, and thus far, he's executed on about 50% of the things they've asked him to do. Conversely, that's why they're down by more than 2 touchdowns, but they got to come back and rebound. A lot of football remains to be played, but Princeton Shepard is the showcase right now in this half.
Time now for our Southwest Airlines first half stats. Jay, what do you see?
First thing I see is, the pass was 214 yards. Morgan got 118. Those came on one big play to Kevin Dickens. The turnover came early. That one time for Morgan State turned into points for Hampton University. Time possession about the same, but basically, who wants it more? They've done a good job containing Alonzo Coleman, but they haven't contained the quarterback. So we're going to see what adjustments need to be made, but more importantly, you got to figure out a way to slow down Princeton Shepard.
Once again, Hampton comes into this ball game. They have been almost flawless in this ball game, and throughout most of the season as they come in undefeated at well, today's halftime report has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,100 nonstop flights to 60 destinations all across the country. It's food for the soul. Make sure you stay tuned for the Black Star Cinema movie Soul Food. BET serving up laughs, love, and family, starring Vanessa Williams, Vivica Fox, and Nia Long. Catch it tonight at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So second half now underway as Hampton, who had won the toss in the first half and elected to receive, kicking off to start things up here in a second, kicked out of bounds, so Morgan State will get it first and 10 at the 35-yard line. Again, the bench trailing in this one, but you talked about it for a second, Jay, and that was all about first half adjustments, or the adjustments that Coach Donald Hill had to make at halftime. What do you think he told his troops?
I think he said we're going to spread the ball out a little bit more. We want to get the running game going, but we're not going to force the run. Let's spread it. Tommy Mann has had some success. Dickens made some big plays, but you got to tell the team, just settle down. We've seen open guys. It's not like this Pirate defense has just been smothering all over the field. Guys have been open. They just did not execute properly the majority of the first half.
Again, to remind you, this is a good offense when you talk about Morgan State. Third in the conference in points, second in total yards. So they have the ability to put the numbers on the board. Just haven't had much luck against Hampton here. And they throw the interception right away. Picked off by Justin Durant. That didn't take long. He intercepted Little John. First play in the first half. Comes right back and intercepts him first play in the second half. This one good for 6.
And the thing, he threw it right to him. Not only was it a great adjustment by Durant, but the fact that Little John's taking him to the ball, he's following his eyes. That means that Little John is tipping his passes where he's going with the ball. And Durant knows a little something about reading the quarterback's eyes. And, you're not going to fool that guy making plays like that.
Now, we see a flag in the end zone. Don't know what that's, or maybe celebration.
Yeah, they were partying a little bit too hard. Maybe gave a little band warning. But that's one there, and you keep telling them, and Coach Hill's getting them an earful right now. You've got to see that, son. You've got to see that. Linebackers picking off balls just mean you're not looking.
You and I, we've seen Little John this year, and it seems as if focus-wise, we've seen him kill interceptions to start halves off before.
Offense, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, 15 yards of express on the kickoff. He removed his helmet, and then how you doing, JD? South Carolina, what's up?
That's Florence, South Carolina, for all those folks wondering where he's from. Justin Durant, just a sophomore.
He's athletic, too. He can move around, do all the things you want a quality linebacker to have the ability to do.
Pallarini's kick is up, and it's good. You talk about Durant's ability athletically. But this guy right here, played outside linebacker last year, moved to the inside, but he comes from an athletic family. His brothers, Darian Durant, if I'm not mistaken, is a quarterback. And there's his quarterback brother right there for North Carolina.
Record-setting quarterback down there in North Carolina. Got in there and played as a true freshman. I remember seeing him early in his career and said, this is going to be a playmaker here. A lot like these guys you're watching, Prentice Shepard. He can run, he can throw, and he has command. You know, Durant obviously has been practicing with his brother during the offseason on those interception tip drills because he's been reading the quarterback's keys all day long and made some fantastic interceptions.
And one more look at the interception.
This is Durant right here. Watch where he take him. All you have is a simple out route. He's going to undercut the out route. Easy ball for a linebacker to come underneath there. You got to leave the wide receiver, in this case the tight end, more to the outside where that if he does try to undercut angle, he's going to pay for it mightily. Right now he's throwing it right to him because he's not leading his receiver. He's not anticipating. Why don't you lead your receiver? When you don't anticipate and you're throwing more for reaction, not off of your anticipatory skill.
Durant, second in the conference in tackles per game, averaging about 10 a game. He now has 3 interceptions on the season.
He may be leading the conference today. He may be leading the conference.
He forced fumbles. He also among the leaders on his team in pass breakups. He's a very active player, Justin Durant, and his 25-yard interception return for touchdown puts his team way up top. 36-12 now is our score.
Talk about Hampton adding the star power. He's just another example of how the stars are starting to come to the foundation of the program. And you see a good return here up the middle by Morgan State. They've had some success on kickoff returns this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see them break one of these. If there's one thing that Hampton can really tighten up on, it would be their special teams play. With the block punt, Morgan State's had good success on returns.
Roderick Wolf, who actually has a kickoff return for 97 yards and a touchdown against Gardner-Webb, takes this one out to the 40-yard line, and so now we'll see Bradshaw Littlejohn with the football again.
And now you're going to see how much Coach Hill really believes in his quarterback or not. He came out and opened up the second half with 4 wide receivers. If he's nervous and doesn't think Bradshaw will get it done, he'll go to 2 wide receivers. But now you can tell he still has faith in this guy. On first down, coming out the 4 wide receiver set.
Littlejohn's pass is complete. Kelvin Dickens. He really hasn't used the receivers, Dickens and Manis, as much as you would think. They are big play-capable type players.
They are. He's thrown up some jump balls to Dickens, and with the Manis, you know, he hasn't gone to him as much. You see the one-on-one outside. They're respecting the speed that Dickens has. The defensive back is playing 9 yards off of him, so you just got to take advantage, take what the defense is giving you, and throw the ball. When he makes good, solid, firm throws and knows where he's going with the football, Bradshaw can throw with the best of them.
You see Dickens with 3 receptions already for close to 70 yards in this one. 2nd and 2. Quick out. This one goes to Taco. Tommy Manis makes the catch.
Still might be.
I love the nickname.
You know, he's got some Texas roots. You know, he's from Texas, so, you know, on that ring with tacos. You're an East Coast guy. You don't really know tacos that well.
I don't.
I'm a California guy.
Okay,
I grew up on tacos.
Okay. Well, again, Tommy Manis, as Jay said, from Texas, Dallas to be exact, with the catch, but he's still going to be a couple of inches shy of a first down.
Yeah, that's what I say. Hey, you know, you get your quarterback underneath the center, get yourself a little QB sneak, make sure you get the first down, keep the change going.
4 for 8 on 3rd down conversions is much great. This time they give it to the tailback, and Jason Jackson picks up the first down and more. I'm surprised they haven't used Jackson as much. I mean, last week had a great game, 139 yards rushing against San Jose when their starter Craig Nelson went down, but we really haven't seen them use him that much.
Well, every time they've gotten a position to go to their running attack they wanted to, they've always been down. You know, you figure if the defense could get one more stop and slow Hampton down from scoring, then they can start to run the football, but they really haven't been in a situation where they can say we can afford to run the ball and let the clock tick.
But Jackson got the first down there. They are now in Pirate territory at the 45. Littlejohn rolls, looks downfield, and has the big man who makes the catch. And Dickens, taking advantage of his size differential over Calvin Bannister, makes the catch inside the 15-yard line.
And that's what you want to do. Anytime you see blitzing linebackers, that means the defense is playing man-to-man coverage on your wide receivers. Get it up there to your playmakers. Bradshaw bought some time here, escaped the blitz on the outside, and just let it go one-on-one. That defensive back is all by himself. If he slips or falls, you're going to get a big play. And I think the audience out there can see why
Kelvin Dickens averages 24.7 yards per catch.
37-yard play on that one. So now it's first and goal. They're actually inside the 10 at the 7. Little veer to the outside. Jackson. Durant was there defensively. Coming up to make the hit, though, was Reggie Knox.
I'm going to tell you, Durant is impressing me more and more. When Bradshaw Littlejohn made that pitch, I said, okay, if Jackson turns on the Jets, he's going to beat Durant to the corner for a touchdown. Well, obviously, they did not score a touchdown. Durant kicked in the 5th gear. The great athletes have that 5th gear you can find. Watch him chase down this option, down the line of scrimmage. Ball's being pitched. Here he comes. Doesn't even back off his ankle. You heard the leather being thrown there. Typically, you'll back off your angle and say, I can't tackle him on the 5. I'll try and get him on the 1. He ran straight down the line for that tackle.
Second and goal, as Jackson did pick up 5 yards on the play. And the whistles blow before you can't do that. And the play clock runs out.
You can't do that. You're the quarterback. Everybody else is down.
Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Everybody else is down in the 3-point stance. You're the only one with the play clock sitting 20 yards away from you, big numbers. You're the only one that can see it. You have to have that clock go off in your head mentally. I mean, just look at the little things. You're talking about second and goal from the 2-yard line. Now you're backing your team up to the 7-yard line. The percentages go against you. You have to be in control when you're the quarterback.
Littlejohn has completed all 3 of his passes on this drive. Let's see if he passes this time. He's going to keep the football. And nothing doing as the defense making the adjustments. This time it's Brian Houston, who looked like he was rushing the quarterback and then was able to make the adjustment and drag down Littlejohn.
That's that power linebacker. He's got free realm of wherever he wants to go. The senior linebacker from Georgia just playing football. And the good coaches, the good coordinators put their players in position just to read and react.
By the way, you talk about athletes. You see this guy right here, Brian Hughes. This is a decathlete, from what I understand. This is a, he was a decathlete.
He's following
on the track and field.
Mike Hilton did that. Was a decathlete champion in the MEAC conference before getting drafted by the New York Giants.
Third down and goal for Littlejohn. Drops the football. All kinds of pressure. They'll just throw it into the end zone and throw it away. So, Jay, you touched on it. They really hurt themselves on that penalty.
It was huge. I mean, instead of having the ability to call 2 quarterback sneaks to get to the end zone and run the ball, you had to pass the ball. But to his credit, he threw the ball away there. If he would have taken that sack, then you're talking about no field goal opportunity, no points on the board. So you got to take him one little play at a time to help him get better and improve.
You know, this is no slight on Bradshaw Littlejohn, but he's the preseason MEAC Player of the Year, at least at quarterback. All the coaches and SIDs felt that this was the best quarterback in the conference.
Yes, because we had a great class of quarterbacks leave the conference. Alan Suber left. Reese McCampbell left down at South Carolina State. So, the quarterback at A&T didn't come back. So they're facing another delayed game warning here. They better get it snapped, and they do.
On 4th down, but this time they convert. Touchdown, Tommy Mannis.
Let me get a little sour cream and cheese and tomatoes to go with that taco. That's the big body. That's being smart. That's going to the guys that have the advantage. 6'5" wide receiver in the end zone. Throw the ball high where he can go get it. Take a look here. All he's going to do is beat him on the in route here. Use that big body to square up. The ball was thrown behind him, but he used his big body to square up the defensive back to reach back and get it. That's what I'm talking about there. That's what the NFL scouts like to see.
And for Mannis, that's his 3rd touchdown reception of the season, as now the Bears are going to go for 2. Littlejohn decides to keep it. He stopped short by Michael Littlejohn, number 99. Also in on the tackle, Brian Houston. So the 2-point conversion fails. The score, 36-18, Morgan State on the short end.
Wildly organic experience.
They're going to keep bringing heat because they cannot cover it. Because they can't cover it. The thing that we have to do is make sure we make the catch. We're going to run this east screen out. All right? We're going to continue to throw the quick pass, get the ball out of the quarterback hand. We cannot go second and long. They don't have enough guys to cover it at all.
Coach Donald Hill talking to his troops about the quick passes, but those are passes that have gotten them in trouble in this football game.
They have when you don't make good decisions because they're based off of free-snap heat. And he said they're going to keep bringing that heat. That heat is that blitz they're going to keep bringing. Yeah. They're not going to stop because although Little John's made some good plays, he hasn't shown the ability to defeat the blitz unless he runs around it. So what he's going to talk about doing is you have an aggressive defense. How do you counter a defense that's so aggressive? You do little trick plays and use their aggressiveness against them, like the screen right behind them.
Well, again, they're trying to keep the football away, and I'm talking about Morgan State when it comes to kicking the football off. They will not kick it to Jerome Mathis. We've seen them come out with the squib kick every time they kick the football off. They do not want to give it to Mathis. But Hampton, despite the fact that they're not getting the football to Mathis, they're still getting good field position. And take a look at what they've done so far with their possessions. I mean, they have been very solid. I guess we'll see it in a second. We'll go with this play first. 1st and 10 at the 35 and flags all over the place. Here's the first half possessions for Hampton and Jay.
Hey, look at this. Score, 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 score. That, okay, they had a misview. Score, score. They've been stopped twice. So basically,
6 of 8 they scored.
Basically, they've stopped themselves a couple times.
And that's the first half. I mean, that would be a great line for a game.
5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That'd be a great line for the whole game, and yet that's just first half stuff.
And you know what? And they've done it all, and we still haven't even gotten the running game going yet. So Hampton, I'm sure Coach Taylor is telling them at halftime, we have to be able to run the ball, because this is the look we're going to see when we go to the playoffs, if we go to the playoffs.
Again, we've been waiting to see Alonzo Coleman get his man, and on 1st down, here's Alonzo Coleman. On 1st and 15 after the penalty, he picks up about 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, starting to warm up a little bit. And that's the stuff, I mean, you know, he's got 6 touchdowns on the year, hasn't got a touchdown just yet. And talking about Coleman in the red zone, what they typically like to do is throw the football inside the 20. And once they get inside the 20-yard line, that's Coleman territory. That's when he takes over. But the key about Coleman, watch him, he'll make the first 2 guys miss, and then he'll break a big one on you.
He's run the ball 12 times for 33 yards. Again, came into the game averaging 141 yards per carry. One of the leaders in all Division I AA, and a good tackle right there as he tried to get to the outside, but Sean Garris came up and made a nice low tackle.
And that's what the good running back. Garris came up, made a great tackle, but who's the one that's slow getting up? It's Garris, you know. And Coleman's a little guy, 5'11", 200 pounds, but he's strong. And this whole team is strong, but you look at this here. I mean, 7 touchdowns, tied for first, 423-yard second, 476 yards. He's on pace to shatter the all-time career touchdown mark at Hampton.
And by the way, where was Coleman wanting to go coming out of high school? Did he want to play football?
Morgan State.
He wanted to play at Morgan State. And Coach Hill said he didn't have a scholarship for him.
You know, that's because he knew he had Craig Nelson. And every now and then, all you kids out there listening, you got to find the right program for you. Don't go where there's a log jam of running backs if you're a running back. Find a program, because it's all about getting on the field. If Coleman got his opportunity to get on the field, now Coach Hill is saying, I wish I'd have burned the scholarship on the kid. They had him sitting on my sideline. He's good enough where he could have played and made the team and been a starter, but hey, it's what's all
goes
about.
To Hampton, and Coach wasn't salty. Coach said, you know, everything happens for a reason. It's great to see this kid. He's where he should be, contributing at Hampton.
That's the kind of guy that Coach Donald Hill Ely is.
Well, after the 3rd down and short run by Coleman comes up short of a 1st down, they're forced to punt. They're going to let this one bounce, and finally down at about the 10-yard line. That's where Morgan State gets the football back. A punt of 46 yards puts the Morgan State Bears deep in their own territory. Well, time now for today's trivia question, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And here's the question. An NFL All-Pro for 8 consecutive seasons, this former Morgan State star was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1975. Who is he? We'll let you chew on it. We'll have the answer for you when we come back. portion of the Urban League Classic is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by U.S. Navy. Navy. Accelerate your life. Welcome back, folks. Well, let's revisit that Dodge trivia question that we gave you before going to break, and it once again was an NFL All-Pro for 8 straight seasons. The former Morgan State star was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1975. That football star is the man you see right there, and that's Roosevelt Brown. He was an All-Pro lineman with the New York Giants, inducted, as I said, in 1975, one of 4 players from Morgan State to be inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This portion of the Urban League Classic has been brought to you by Dodge Jeep. Trail-rated capability only in a Jeep 4x4.
Soul Food, tonight at 11.
And we're back, and let's take a look at how that field goal block came about. I want you to take a look at Tommy Maddox, the wide receiver playing special teams. We talked about his size all day long, being 6'5". It's one thing to be big. It's another thing to have the ability to play big. That's what the scouts like to see. Getting up there and getting the block, keeping your team in the game. Tommy Maddox coming with the field goal block.
He was up so high, that one hit him in his pits.
Had room to spare on that block is what you're trying to say.
Okay, that's a better way of saying it.
Flags thrown before Morgan State snapped the football.
Offense, false start, number 70. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, that's Chris Cousins, the senior from Columbus, who they like to call Big Baby.
Big Baby. I see the big, I don't see the baby part. But once upon a time, I guess he was.
You can see the penalty situation. And like Jay said, even though Morgan comes in averaging about 8 penalties a game, you'll take that if, of course, you can make plays. Penalties come, but you got to make plays.
You got to make plays. They had an example of that when they were down on the goal line. They got one on 3rd and 2, but they still came back and made a touchdown to help recover on that penalty.
There's Little John. Pass complete to Deion Trotter. Trotter picks up another first down. Trotter, a couple of catches in this one. That one good for 16 yards.
When Bradshaw gets time and he knows where he's going with the football and he sets his feet, there's nobody better in the conference, without a doubt. But when he starts trying to improvise and do too much and get outside of himself, he has to become smarter and learn to play within himself. He can become a very efficient college quarterback.
Well, he's found Deion Trotter 3 times in this game for 34 yards. Spreading it out. He's got Manis, got Dickens. Haven't seen a lot of Chris Cash's tight end, who had a big catch in the first half for a first down. Little John over the middle, and again finds Trotter. We saw them throwing to him all day yesterday. We sat with Coach and said, what are you doing with number 11, playing wide receiver? He says, oh, he's a great athlete. Don't worry, we'll throw to him. And he had no receptions coming into the game. Now has 4.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because you asked him. He wasn't on my depth chart. And you asked about 11. Now we see why, and we got the story behind him. That was a big-time throw with that skinny post he made there. You talked about Chris Cash being the tight end. And, tight end's one of those positions in Morgan State where you have to have a lot of pride in, because, they had a young man get drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft last year, playing for the New York Giants, and we'll hear a little something from him a little later on.
They got 19 yards on that last play, 1st and 10 at the 49. A nice catch, a nice move, and almost another first down for the Morgan Bears as Calvin Dickens makes the catch.
I like that. They've got that sense of urgency. You see him now getting the play from the sideline. Hurry up, get your team up to the line of scrimmage, and attack. Don't be a complacent offense. Get in attack mode. Right now they're doing a good job of attacking, but they need to be up on the line of scrimmage right now, snapping the ball to keep the Pirate defense on their heels.
Again, still plenty of time left in this football game. I mean, we're just in the 3rd quarter, 4:25 left, right?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really, because you haven't shown that you can slow down Hampton. You stopped them once or twice, but they just missed a field goal. You have to keep attacking and have a sense of urgency about yourself.
Still got to feel like you're outscoring them instead of stopping and scoring. Little John going to take off running on 2nd down and 1, and you can hear it. He loves that contact.
a little different breed of quarterback. That's what gets him excited there. You know, me, the excitement was completing a nice pass and picking your defense apart. For him, his excitement is just bringing the noise.
Yes, he loves contact. In fact, this is what he said about that contact play out there.
I can't, though, you know what I'm saying? Because once they see it on film, they see me punish somebody, they going to be scared to step up and come and take that hit like the last man did. So I got to punish them before they punish me, because that's their job to punish the quarterback. But I'm going to be the opposite way around. I'm going to punish them like Walter Payton used to do. You got to lay that leg before somebody lay it to you.
Never one to shy away from some contact. I asked him, I said, listen, are you going to keep running into people? That's why he said, I got to. Here he is on first down. Run. Still running. Oh, and this time he saw Brian Houston and said, I'm going out of bounds.
I don't like that. Well, yeah, I don't like that. No. Brian Houston weighs 250. He let the number scare him. See, he let the number. He saw 55, said it's a linebacker, instead of like, hey, I'm just going to hit all comers. Right. He weighs 215. You weigh 258. I like my chances on that 258. Bradshaw, I was just starting to become a fan of this running to punish people, and you stepped out of bounds.
But he did get a first down, got his team down to the 10-yard line. First and goal as they're inside the 10. This time they give it to the tailback, Jason Jackson, who has been really quiet, hasn't had a lot of carries in this one. And again, this is a team without their starting running back in Craig Nelson. Another guy that Morgan State is missing we haven't talked about is their all-purpose player in William DeShazo, who's been out with an injury, and he's their return specialist, also plays some running back, also plays some wide receiver.
He was classic. He's one of those guys that was so exciting to watch on the field, because every time he stepped on the field and got the ball in his hands, you had to watch, because he could make great things happen.
He returned a punt for a touchdown on BET last year in this classic, talking about William DeShazo from Morgan State. Another complete pass, this one to Tommy Manis. Little John has been on fire on this drive. He's now 4 for 4 throwing the football, and he's run the football for 21 yards.
He's done a great job running the ball and conducting his team, and I think it's that sense of urgency he finally got and realized I can't afford to make any more mistakes, so now he's playing for pride. As a quarterback playing for pride, defense doesn't want to mess with you.
Again, it's 2:49 in the third. He's playing to win, right? I mean, I hear you about the pride, and again, you played the game a long time, but I mean, you can't think that you're not in this game still.
I think you're going to need some help from the defense.
Little John on the quarterback draw. Easy touchdown run there. No hesitation. Took the snap, found the hole, and scores the touchdown from 6 yards out.
And that's the urgency that you need. When I say urgency to put some points on the board, try and put pressure on the Pirates. Don't let Hampton just stay on cruise control all night. Make Hampton continue to score if they're going to win this game. You have to tell yourself 36 points will not be enough to beat me. And this is that little great seal block there by the offensive line for Morgan. That's what the play they try and run. They kind of just cave the whole left side of the line down against you and have the big quarterback come in behind you.
Nathan Kiefer, the senior from Glen Burnie, Maryland's kick is up, and the kick is good.
They're hanging around.
So Morgan State continues to put points on the board, and like you said, they're still in this thing. We've still got a whole quarter left of football to play, and it's just an 11-point differential between these two teams. Let's go down the field. Ecclesi standing by. What's up, please?
Hey, man, I love, I'm told to respect my elders. But you're getting up there when your jersey becomes a throwback. When your jersey is a throwback, you're getting a little old there, fellas. This is a Jay Skywalker jersey from Black. It's from BlackCollegeClassic.com. You can go online and hook them up. But Jay, you got a throwback, bro. That means you're old. You can't go to the club with us no more. No more hanging out. No more young girls.
No.
You got to change all your radio stations to the Magic 102.3 and Light 107s and all of that. Back up to you two up top.
Are you sure that's a throwback, Joe?
Yeah, that's a throwback.
It might look like more like a toss back.
You can talk about me all you want. I better not catch you rocking it in the parking lot, Joe, trying to meet some folks.
I ain't going to wear this. All right, I might wear it. But what I'm saying is, you as long as if I win, you can't be around me because they're gonna say who the old man standing right there. I'm gonna say it's his jacket. They're gonna say who's that, Deacon Jones or something?
Hey, I take a lot of pride in that. You know you've arrived.
You should, brother. You really
when
should, brother. Congratulations,
you,
man.
They do it. Thank you,
Hey,
man.
Joe, don't you think it should say? Hey, don't you think it should say Sky back there though? It should say Sky.
I think it should say Old Walker. I think it should say I need a Walker. That's what I think it should say.
Hey, George, like I say, George and Joe, you agree with me on this? It's better to have a throwback into being a has-been than to being a never was.
True indeed. Very true indeed. Congratulations to you, Jay.
Thank you, Father.
For sure.
And they're not afraid to go to any of these guys, as we've seen. Going into this game, Jones only had 2 catches for 14 yards, where he's got 2 today, and they've been big catches that he's made.
And we still haven't seen the tight end Marcus Hardy, the transfer from Virginia, who they've been using. This time the carry goes to Ardell Daniels, and guess what, folks? This is the backup running back, who's an Army transfer, and was the MVP of the Army-Navy game a couple of years ago in 2001 after running for 131. And he's the backup running back.
And you can tell he's a good backup to have because he has a little pep in his step, too. The way he shot through that hole looks like he could be a starter on a lot of other teams in his conference, but Hampton's loaded. When you have a solid foundation, a solid program, your backups are good enough to beat other teams as well.
And handoff this time. Still to Daniels, who's on his feet and gets inside the 5. You know, I looked at the stats coming in, and I expected to see Alonzo Coleman with all the carries. He had 66 carries coming in, but this young man right here, Daniels, had 51, which shows that Coach Taylor will share the wealth, even though he has a big-time player.
Yeah, and he wants to keep him. I mean, why wear out Coleman if you don't have to? They've been fortunate enough to get in some blowout-type football games, so keep Coleman fresh through the long haul.
Daniels with 2 runs, good for 15 yards, and now how big is that penalty that we saw that gave them a 3rd and 2 as opposed to a 3rd and 7? Inside handoff again for Hampton, and this one looks like it's good for 6. It is.
Good hard-nosed running there. The offensive line of Hampton over on the left side. Nevin McCaskill, Gerald Perry, and Jelani Clement just opening up the hole, making Daniels a wide-open pass to get to the end zone. Take a look here. They're all just going to block down this way. He gets his pad level down, accelerates through the hole. Nobody there to hit him. Safety over pursues to the outside. He cuts it inside. Good running by Ardell Daniels.
Daniels with his 2nd touchdown run of the year. Catarini's kick is up and good. So just when Morgan State scores 11 unanswered points, the defense unfortunately gives up another 7. And Hampton again regaining momentum and regaining control of this game.
Yeah, it goes back to that 3rd and 8, and they helped them out and got the penalty. So all of a sudden, becomes 3rd and 3. They run the ball, and they drive the ball right down the field because those first 2 plays, the defense was motivated and made some big stops. They put themselves in a position to execute. They just didn't follow through with a costly penalty like that.
When you look at the success of this football team, it all starts with the man that you were talking about at the top of the show, Jay. And that, of course, Joe Taylor, the head coach, who, I mean, has guided the Pirates to 2 Black College championships, 5 conference titles, 4 trips to the NCAA playoffs. I mean, look at the record in September alone. I mean, they are just known for getting off the fast starts. And this is a program that came from Division II up to Division I AA in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference several years back. And since they've come, I mean, they have never looked back, and they have been a player in this conference.
Well, they got smart. They came in with Skywalker left for 1. and 2, they continue to grow. But Coach Taylor, he's staying very humble, saying live for today. But the knock on Hampton is they start well, but they don't finish strong. Last year, they dropped 3 of their last 4 football games, and the schedule's shaping up that way again this year, because they've got a stretch of games where they have to play South Carolina State, Bethune-Cookman, and A&T in back-to-back weeks. That's going to be the biggest test for Coach Taylor.
And this return right here for Morgan State by Mark McKenzie. And you talked about the challenges for Hampton. Keep in mind, last year they were cruising and then lost 3 of their last 4. So, like you said, Jay, you can be as happy as you want to in the months of September, early October, but late in the season is when it really gets serious. And again, Hampton, unfortunately for their fans, lost 3 or 4, and that hurt them.
But I will say this is a different Hampton team. They're a lot stronger. I mean, if you look at the team last year when they played Hampton, when they played Howard, they beat Howard 17-14. This year, an improved Howard team, they dismantled. Last year when they played Morgan, close ball game overtime. This year, they're dismantling Morgan so far. So this team is getting stronger, and they figured it out.
Here's Little John on 1st and 10. Pass is complete to the man that he's starting to get very close to, Deion Trotter. And like Jay said, as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter, Hampton has just been rolling, coming in at 3-0. 3-0 for the first time since 1999, and looking to make it 4-0. New York, not far away from where we are right now, which is in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Meadowlands, Giant Stadium, Jet Stadium. George Johnson along with Jay Walker, Joe Claire down on the field, the rest of our BET crew as we bring you Black College Football, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Morgan State trailing in this one as we're about to start the 4th quarter. And trailing big as Hampton continues to answer anything they do offensively. But here's Little John. On the quarterback draw once again. Bradshaw continues to go head-to-head with these linebackers from Hampton.
They've got good reason to as well. I mean, you know, we talked about his size. They've got a guy named Michael Littlejohn who plays D-line for Hampton. And you got Bradshaw Littlejohn. Now, Michael Littlejohn is a defensive lineman, 6'3", 255 pounds. Bradshaw Littlejohn, 6'3", 258 pounds. Who are you taking in a head-to-head matchup, G?
Well, you would think you would take the defensive lineman.
You would think.
But Littlejohn lost the yard on that one, so he lost that battle. 3rd and 11. Pass over the middle, and the pass is complete to Dickens. So again, the problems, but they come back and they make a play. You're happy with that if he's going to try that quarterback stuff, as long as he answers it with a play like that.
Yeah, and that was good timing there. And we'll take a look at the 3rd quarter stats.
And they're brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
And so is an offensive-minded person up here in the booth. 328 yards versus 361 yards of total offense. Oh, I'm loving that right there. I can tell it straight all day. Hey, great for the offensive coaches. Some defensive coaches better figure out some ways to stop the opponent.
We knew coming in we had 2 of the top offenses in the MEAC playing in this one. And they haven't let us down as Littlejohn throws downfield, and his receiver slipped. It was in and out of the hands of Reggie Knox, the quarterback. But Littlejohn says, wait a minute, where's the flag?
Where's the flag? But he made up his mind the whole time he was going there with the football. There were some other guys that had one-on-one coverage, and he threw in a double coverage. Look, you've got a safety here, defensive back there. That's double coverage there. You can't throw 2-on-1 and think you're going to have a high success rate, completion rate. Find the one-on-one coverage someplace else.
But was it pass interference?
He didn't call it.
Okay.
So, if they didn't call it, must not have been. Who am I? That's the problem. Every now and then, you TV guys get too smart for your own britches. Referees down there on the field, he can see it a lot closer than you can. We're up here standing 40 yards away. But
we want all the people out there to know that Jay runs his mouth all the time after plays when we're just together. Like, that was interference. That wasn't interference. Now I want to get it from you on the air, and you're like, no, you TV guys, you're trying to trap.
I mean, you know, yeah, you can't trap me. I respect the referee. I got to see these guys.
All right, 2nd down now. And Little John going to roll right, look downfield, and is overthrown, intended for McKenzie. And Jay, you saw somebody wide open out there.
McKenzie was open for 5 seconds, but because Bradshaw was trying to create in the pocket, he took his eyes from being downfield, from looking downfield, started looking at the rush, and he threw that ball to him late. And by that time, it was what we call a headache ball. Those balls you can go get if you want to, but don't complain when you have a headache in the morning.
So Hampton has reached its points per game average. They have 43. They came in averaging 41. Morgan State came in averaging 39 points a game.
And they may still
use some of those points and could use some of those points. But you're saying even if they get there, the point is to stop Hampton from getting any more.
To stop Hampton from increasing on their average.
So here we are, 3rd and 10 now. Little John going to fake, trying to get to the outside. Good pressure by the Pirates. Going to throw on the run downfield, and this one is intercepted.
I understand you're trying to make a big play, but certain rules of the quarterback position say you can't roll to the left and throw across your body back to the right. Everybody sees it coming. You have to square your shoulders, and the moment you turn your shoulders on that rollout,
DBs just start looking for the football.
Darius Swinton is the man who made the interception, his second of the season. Joe Taylor. And he always looks like he's waiting to just have that sigh of relief.
And it took him 2 yards to run and square his shoulders. And the moment you do that, he had 2 guys that possibly could have intercepted that pass there. And that's a good play by Darius Swinton to go up and get the ball at his highest point, because Manis was going to come underneath him and steal that ball for a reception there. But the young sophomore getting some valuable playing time here, which will carry him a long way.
So now the Pirates are going to come back and look like they may keep it on the ground, let that clock run a little bit, as we have a new quarterback in the ball game. Kerry Dixon, number 5, is in, the redshirt senior. A very versatile athlete who also has the ability to play wide receiver and has played wide receiver in the past for this team.
Coach Taylor loves him. Coach Kice loves him. They said he would get our leadership award. Who's the glue to keep this offense together, to keep this all together, would be Kerry Dixon. I said, Coach, he doesn't play. He's a backup. He said, that's why. He could have caused a big stir by saying, we're going to have a quarterback controversy. He was playing wide receiver, but when he came along and said, Coach Taylor told him he was too valuable as a backup quarterback, he was no longer going to allow him to play wide receiver, he accepted the role and said, I will be the backup for the year. And he got rewarded, because next year he'll be a graduate assistant for Mr. Bowden.
Down at Florida State.
Down at Florida State.
When you look at Dixon over the years, back in 2002, he completed 51% of his passes. In 2003, didn't throw the ball a whole heck of a lot. That's because he was making more receptions than anything. But he did play in all 11 games, started the season opening at quarterback last year, and moved to wide receiver where he caught 12 passes at 14 yards per catch. Now playing quarterback, gives it to his tailback, and Ardell Daniels showing us just how good the backup is at Hampton. $19-yard pickup for Ardell Daniels, the junior. And now time for what we call the coach's call of the game, brought to you by Singular Wireless, the wireless company that fits you best. It didn't take long for us to find the play. It was the first play of the game.
First play of the game. You know they want to come in and stop your running back, do a play-action fake, throw the ball to your All-American wide receiver, Jerome Mathis, to set the tempo and let Morgan State know what kind of afternoon they were in for.
Was that the same game? Because there was sunlight out when we saw that highlight.
Seems like a light.
Now it feels like it's midnight. Inside handoff to Ardell Daniels. This has been one of those games that has just dragged on, and the reason why, there's a lot more passing in this game than we would have expected, you know, considering we knew what Alonzo Coleman could do on the ground, and Daniels behind him, as Daniels carried that one again on first down for a couple of yards. But we knew they could run the football. I don't know if we expected to see this many passes. Did you?
No, I didn't. I think, but that's credit to the coaching staff, because they figured out that they weren't going to be given the running lanes that they wanted to have, and said, hey, our offense is good enough where we can throw the ball to beat you. So give credit to the offensive staff. Hampton, they made great adjustments.
Daniels picked up 6 yards on that last play, and then picks up another first down and more on this one.
And you just feel like Hampton is so much stronger than everybody else, and that's not by accident, because part of the reason is the guy you're looking at there, Sean Holmes. Coach Taylor said he's been my most valuable coach, not because of the X's and O's, but he's our strength and conditioning coach, came from the University of Nebraska, and I love Coach's quote on this. University of Nebraska, they invented weight training on the college football level. And before the game, when the team was out here practicing, that young man ran every single step of Giant Stadium to show his team how committed he was. So it's things like that that help take a program from one level to the next level.
That sounds like some Nebraska stuff, too, running every step.
Every step.
And everybody on the field was like, he's crazy.
You know, Nebraska, all they say is put some more weight on that ball.
Look at the run right here by Daniels again. Ardell Daniels finding room where Alonzo Coleman couldn't.
Opened it up. Different ball game. And one thing about the MEAC conference, I mean, this is a running back conference. I mean, you think about all 3 of those running backs you have down there at Howard. Morgan's had 2. You've got Hampton now showing they've got 2. South Carolina State keeps 3 or 4 every year. Yep. So this is a running backs conference, and the running backs just keep coming and getting better and better and better.
Unlike the SWAC, where for the longest time it was all about passing the football, but lately we've seen some SWAC teams kind of change around in their running. But real quickly, time for today's game summary, brought to you by the U.S. Air Force. Cross into the blue, and you can see Hampton scored on 6 of their first 8 possessions, and that's pretty much all that counts, right?
But they score again.
Ardell Daniels, 9 carries, 78 yards, and scores the touchdown. And the Pirates continue to extend the lead.
I think you have a running back controversy now.
Yeah.
I think there's a running back controversy.
You want to make a controversy. Last week you wanted to start a quarterback controversy in Tennessee State. Now you want to make a running back.
I was serious last week. Now I'm joking. I was serious last week. This week I'm joking. But hey, those are good problems to have. Sometimes controversies can be good, except at the quarterback position. You want stability there, but hey, you want competition all over the field.
Paterini, who's starting to get a little tired.
He showed it.
I didn't mean to curse him, but I know that foot was getting a little tired. And he's been out all kicking. Time for commercial break. When we come back, it'll be Hampton on top, 49-25.
There was something new between us. Must have been my new chicken select. My perfectly seasoned 100% chicken breast.
Presentation of Black College Football here on BET, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 non-stop daily flights to 60 destinations across the country. Southwest Airlines. And this, of course, the New York Urban League Classic from East Rutherford, New Jersey. And it has been all Hampton in this one, although Morgan State has put some points on the board. They try the onside kick to Bears, and Morgan State had an opportunity and may have got the football back.
These kids have to fight.
And how about this? Donald Hill will not give up, and neither will his team. They got the football with 6:19 left. We're coming back.
The good stuff kids go for.
Well, folks, we have seen 80 points scored in this game, and we still got 6:19 left. And Morgan State would like to see a lot more if they want to get back in this game. Pass is complete on 1st and 10 to the wide out. Roderick Wolf, and Wolf makes the catch, picks up about 12 yards on the play. Now they're in hurry-up mode.
And, they do pretty well in hurry-up mode whenever they have a sense of urgency about them. And just tells you what type of program that Coach Hill's doing. These kids have no quit, down but not out. They're going to fight till the final whistle, as they've shown every single game so far this year. I don't know what we were thinking this game was going to get away from it.
Well, they first have to put this football in the end zone before we start talking about comeback. Little John trying to escape pressure, and he does. On the run, wide open receiver. Wolf makes the catch. A flag has been thrown. Wolf picks up another 12 yards on the play, but let's wait and see.
They're going to say he went out of bounds and then came back in and got the ball.
It's those mistakes, Jay, you talked about.
I mean, they're not far off. They're just simple mistakes that are costing them victories right now. As you take a look at him here, good job by the defensive back. Push him out of bounds. Now, once he's out of bounds, he's done.
Yeah.
DB, you can go away from him, go guard somebody else, and that's what he did. Look for somebody else to get. Then in scrambling, he caught the ball again. The rule is, if you go out of bounds, you can't be the first person to touch the ball outside of your quarterback.
Okay. Good look at Roderick Wolf, a senior from Baltimore.
Disregard the flag. Number 14 was pushed out of bounds.
Well, we saw it. That's the job. He's not trying to push the guy out of bounds and get physical with him there. So I don't understand that rule interpretation of it there. The DB, I use the sideline as my friend. If I'm strong enough to push you out of bounds, I win.
And the play's over for you.
Yeah.
Well, the officials interpreted that is not the case. And so Hampton now watching Morgan State with another first down. Ball just shy of the 16-yard line. And again, another flag thrown. The officials starting to get a little happy with these flags, huh?
What do you know what happened? They're on BET, national TV.
False start. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
We've had, the Stripes, they want to give a shout out to moms, too, every now and then. So, they see you show up, George. They know the stars are coming out to play.
It's Cleasy on the sidelines that's got them going.
Probably so. That sounds more like it, too.
So the ball's moved back to the 21-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 for this man right here, Bradshaw Littlejohn. Again, you can see the clock. Under 6 minutes left. Oregon State needs to get into the end zone quickly here. John does a good job eluding two defenders to the sidelines, and this time flips it out of bounds as he's being brought down by Joe Smith. And, you know, I called for him, and apparently he's still working. Joe Clare's down. What's up, Joe? Oh, that's what's up.
As you can see, this is my favorite part of the game. As you can see, this is my favorite part of the game. The Hampton Chili's. Ladies, make some noise. Since it is a lopsided game, I have taken a loss. I have to apologize to Hampton for what I said at the beginning of the game about y'all was going to lose. I'm sorry I said it, but I'm a Morgan State alum. Now y'all have made me feel much what they gave me so much hospitality, so much love. This is my favorite part. Back up to y'all upstairs. I'm going to finish talking to the ladies.
Hey. So can we come back to you later, Joe?
No, you can't, because I'll be doing things that you don't need to see on camera. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, you come back to me with these wholesome young ladies.
The way this football game and football team is growing, they're going to be cheering for a long time to come, hopefully deep into the 1AA playoffs.
John has thrown for 310 yards, rushed for 84, 3 touchdowns, but the big stat I would assume, and let me do a little bit here, that's my circle.
Work with Teller.
Okay, clear it now. 3 interceptions. And that really has hurt. Just under 5.5 left here. John needs to make something happen on 3rd and long. Over the middle, pass is caught. Touchdown, Morgan State. Larry Dixon with the catch. There is no quit in the Bears.
No quit at all. What I'm starting to see is I wonder if the coaches will make an adjustment going forward. Little John plays so much better when you give him the 4 wide receiver set. Because the reason why he's had so much more success is the defense is spread out. You can only see so many looks. You take a look here, he throws a strike, finds his guy up in the pocket, delivers it between the 1 and the 4 in the end zone. When you have the 4 or 5 wide receiver set, you spread out the defense, you can only see 1 or 2 looks. And it really doesn't make you think that much as a quarterback. It allows you to go out there and play. I think they're so committed to trying to run the ball that maybe it's becoming detrimental to their program with their quarterback. They have a quarterback that needs a spread offense.
Another 2-point conversion for Morgan, and another quarterback run on the 2-point conversion attempt, and another stop for Hampton. So they get the 6, but they still trail in this one by 12. We'll see if Bradshaw Littlejohn can get the football back when we get back. Welcome back. 3rd down situation for Kerry Dixon and Hampton. And I'm telling you, middle linebacker Vincent Brown, the frustration I know he's feeling as one of the top players in all the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, seeing his team trail in this one. As the big boy, Brian Ellison, was down for half a second, the sophomore from Tulsa. But watch the hit, Jay.
Look at that. Oh, lower the shoulder, make him feel it. That's called breaking him off a little something, something.
Kerry Dixon feeling that one. We have just under a minute and a half left. Actually, we're approaching a minute left here in this football game as the clock continues to run. Princeton Shepard, our Jeep player of the game, after throwing for 261 yards and 3 touchdowns. Today's player of the game brought to you by Dodge Jeep. Trail rated capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. Seeing throw for one of the couple of touchdowns he threw for in the first half. He also ran for this touchdown in the first half.
Great mobility there, putting the ball in the proper hand too, so he was in command the whole day. And he came out with efficient dart. He was going down the field. We use that term dart because you don't act that you got to be to throw a dart. Yes, you try to hit that bullseye. So that's why QBs always say, hey, he's throwing darts out there, putting them right on the money.
Hampton remains undefeated with this victory as they move to 4-0. Next up, Delaware State. And then it'll be Gardner-Webb, team that Morgan has already played this year, followed by the Battle of the Bay, against Norfolk State. Always an intense battle between those two. And in South Carolina State, on October 23rd, they get an open date after that before preparing for Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman homecoming?
But do you want to schedule someone like Bethune for homecoming? Hey, but when you're the #1 team in the country, it doesn't matter who beat anybody. And when you say #1 team, that's #1 in black college football. Yeah, black college, and hey, I'm going to pull that number 20, but number 20 is Division I AA. Absolutely. Ardell Daniel staying in bounds with under a minute left. And Jay, we sat around, we did the top 10, and this is what we came up with. Hampton, 3-0. Alabama State, undefeated. Alabama State's got one of the best quarterbacks in all of black college, Tavares Jackson. South Carolina State, we know they're going to be solid. You'll see them and Tennessee State, who is short down this list. Messed up my top 10. Absolutely. Albany State fit. You like them, you think they can beat a lot of teams in D1 AA. Yes, they've got a defense. Even though they're a Division II, they've got a defensive lineman by the name of Walter Curry, one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. So you can see the clock running, 20 seconds left in this one. As I said, Hampton is going to improve its record to 4-0. They will now be 2-0 in conference play, having knocked off Morgan State and Howard University. Morgan will drop to 1-3 overall, 0-1 in conference play, as they lose their first conference game. But as we said, the meat of their conference, we're not worried around the corner. We're down, and I'm talking about Morgan. They were down 29-12 at the half. They scored 25 second-half points, but they were never able to get closer to 12 here in the second half. And with that, Hampton, behind Joe Taylor, walks away with a victory, 49-37. We'll wrap things up from New Jersey when we get back.
Today's Urban League Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 non-stop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. And by Allstate. Are you in good hands?
It's the Cola.
And welcome back to New Jersey, where once again the Hampton Pirates knock off the Bears of Morgan State 49-37 to improve to 4-0 on the season. Joe Taylor receiving his award, and Joe Claire, well, he's a little upset. By the way, for Joe Claire and Jay Walker, I'm George Johnson saying so long from Giant Stadium. A reminder, next week we'll be in Indianapolis for the Circle City Classic. That'll feature Tennessee State and South Carolina State. Broadcast time here on BET is 7:00 p.m. Eastern. Coming up next, get set for Club Comic View, watching black college football on BET once again. Hampton wins 49-37.